The calendar has turned to September, and like all of us, these players are excited for the return of college football. Sunny skies in Western New York as Delaware State and Buffalo kick off the 2018 college football season. Welcome you here to Buffalo, New York in UB Stadium. Robert Lee and three-time Super Bowl champion Gerard Cherry with you. College football is back and we are ready to go. Gerard, high hopes for Buffalo this year. 6-6, closed last year with a 3-game winning streak and returned the two biggest pieces of an explosive offense.
They certainly have, Robert. And not since the departure of Khalil Mack has there been as much foot traffic here to actually see these guys play. Because when you look at the exploits of Anthony Johnson, you have to be impressed with his ability to make plays. And not to be outdone is Tyree Jackson, the signal caller, the quarterback. And they are looking to be a lethal combination this season for the Buffalo Bulls.
Johnson almost 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns a season ago. For Delaware State, it's been a real struggle. 4-40 over the last 5 years. A new head coach, though, alumni Rod Milstead, himself a Super Bowl champion, trying to turn his alma mater around.
Yes, he is, and Rod plans on instituting the idea of play hard every down, do the things necessary to get to that higher level. He can show them through example because he's been there and done that, but more importantly, it's his alma mater. He wants to prove that, hey, we can turn this program around, but all we have to do is pay the price and do the things necessary, and if we do that, we will see some success over the course of time.
Can the Hornets avoid a running of the Bulls? The opening kickoff is coming up next from UB Stadium, coming up right after this.
I like the intensity, but it won't be good enough tomorrow. I like the attention to detail at times, but Mike Waters, it won't be good enough tomorrow.
The best. That's right,
D. I like the punts, but Fidel, that won't be good enough tomorrow. We got to continue to get better, build on today, okay, and get better.
First-year head coach Rod Milstead has preached competing. You see some of his coaching stops. This is his first college head coaching job.
Yes, and Ron is going to make the transition from giving suggestions to making decisions, because that's ultimately the difference between being an assistant versus a head coach. And I firmly believe that he'll be well prepared for that because it's his alma mater. Again, you have to stress the idea that he wants to rebuild this program and take it back to the days in which he walked the college grounds of Delaware State.
Lance Leipold has done a terrific job rebuilding this UB program in his fourth season with the Bulls, 13-23. Wildly successful coach at Wisconsin Whitewater, a Division III school, which is his alma mater, where he won 6 Division III titles.
And at one point in his coaching career, only lost 4 or 5 games. Obviously, that has not been the experience here at Buffalo as he's trying to rebuild a program, but he is well on his way. And when you consider the arsenal that he has to work with on the offensive end, Robert, you have to be impressed.
He reached 100 wins faster than any coach in the history of college football. Delaware State won the toss. They will receive. Delaware State in the white jerseys, an FCS school, making the long trip up here to Western New York to take on Buffalo, an FBS school. Buffalo, the home team, will wear the blue. Back deep to receive is Bryson Aline for Delaware State. The kicker for Buffalo is senior Adam Mitchison. College football is back, and we are underway here in Buffalo. The kick will head over the heads of the return men, and it will be a touchback. There was some question about who would start at quarterback for Delaware State. As recently as Wednesday, they were still making up their minds.
Yes, and when you hear that, you probably have pause for concern. But if it's a great competition, you got to let it play itself out. And as we watch it unfold, it seems as McDaniels is going to be the guy to start off the season for the Hornets.
Jack McDaniels, a sophomore from Lorton, Virginia, 6'3", 215, started the first 6 games last year before giving way to now junior, Keenan Black. Possibility we'll see them both today, but McDaniels will take the first shotgun snap of the game from the 25-yard line. And it is a handoff. Up the middle for a gain of 2. Bryson Aline gets the first carry of the season for the Hornets.
A nice call on the part of the Hornets. Give McDaniels a chance to get familiar with this game and the tempo. You always want to start from a nice, safe, easy play and don't do anything to set yourself back in the negative.
McDaniels completed 54% of his passes last year, 3 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and it's a run left for Aline, who turns upfield past the 30 to the 31. Through threw for about 1,100 yards last year. But as we said, 3 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and he gets the start here in the opener. He'll face a 3rd down and 4 on the first series of the season, alone in the backfield with 5 receivers. Quick screen out near side, and it is caught by Quana Kali, and he is dropped immediately. Big tackle by Cameron Lewis, the senior cornerback.
And Cameron Lewis does an excellent job of reading the quarterback, McDaniels, and then coming up and making a sure tackling the receiver behind the line of scrimmage. And that's how you want to start off on defense. And if you're the Hornets, obviously you want a positive play, but you don't want a turnover as well. But great job on the part of Lewis of making that sure tackle.
It goes down as no gain on the play, but it will be 4th down. On to punt is an All-American, Fidel Romo Martinez. He is a preseason 3rd-team All-American, 2nd-team All-American. Last year averaged 45 yards a kick. And he hangs a high spiral. That'll be taken by KJ Osborne inside the 30. Osborne shaking, heading to the far side. A lot of shaking, not much doing as he gets out past the 30-yard line.
And I am certain that special teams coach will have some words for KJ, because one of the things that you want to do as a punt returner or any type of returner, be it the kickoff or the punt, is get upfield. You have to respect your opponent. At some point, they're going to catch up to you. You can't drive around and duke around like that. You have to get up the football field.
Spoken like a former special teams standout, Gerard Cherry. 43-yard punt, 6-yard return. No questions at quarterback for Lance Leipold and the Bulls. It'll be Tyree Jackson, a 4th-year junior from the western shores of Michigan, Norton Shores, Michigan. We'll talk more about him as the game goes on. He'll start in the shotgun. He'll fake the handoff. He'll throw it for his main man, Anthony Johnson, who's brought down immediately at the 29-yard line for a loss of a yard.
And you like the fact that the Bulls want to establish Jackson and Johnson right away. But one of the things that you definitely need is better blocking, as you see right here. Give credit to the Hornets. They diagnosed the play, and this is what all good defenses are taught to do. Swarm to the football, and that's exactly what they did. Safety
Isaiah Small, a junior from Miami, up for the tackle for loss. Loss of a yard on the play. The running back is Emmanuel Reed, and he'll get the handoff. Running over the left side, good hole. Out past the 35 to the 37, a gain of 7.
And Robert, we hear so much about the dynamic duo of Jackson and Johnson, but one of the things that's totally underrated on this football team for the Buffalo Bulls on the offensive end is the running game and the exploits and abilities of Emmanuel Reed in particular.
Ran for 840 yards last year, a team high. 9 touchdown runs as well, averaged 4.2 yards per carry. Had 500-yard games a season ago. Really came onto the scene, a 4th-year junior. 3rd down. Jonathan Hawkins now in the game in the backfield. Jackson throws over the middle, dropped, incomplete. Broken up on the play, KJ Osborne, the intended receiver.
And so far, KJ is not having the type of outing that he would like to have regarding the punt return as well as that drop pass right there. You have to hold on to the football. And if you're the Hornets, you are very excited about the fact that you put out a 3-and-out on a very prolific, as advertised, offense in the Buffalo Bulls.
Buffalo will be forced to punt on its first series, 3-and-out. Both teams 3-and-out to start the game. Evan Finnegan is the first-year punter for the Bulls. Bryson Aline back deep at the 13-yard line to receive.
And when you're an FBS team playing against FCS, the last thing you want to do is give the FCS squad hope.
Fair caught by Aline inside the 20. Scoreless early here in Buffalo. Rod Milstead has to be thrilled with the way the Hornets have started the game.
Exactly, because the stronger unit for the Bulls is the offense, and right there you saw their Hornets do what? Create a 3-and-out situation. And one of the things that you want to do is build your confidence as this game goes on. You keep playing like that, the Hornets certainly will.
McDaniels back out there for his second series at quarterback. If there's a strength to this Delaware State offense, it's their running game. Mike Waters, who's in the backfield now, along with Bryson Aline, probably their 2 best offensive players. And it'll be Waters to get the handoff. Swallowed up after a short gain at the 19-yard line.
And though the undersized and undermanned squad, give credit to the Hornets because they have gotten some push. And it's all about what you do in the trenches. And if you're able to get that push forward at the line of scrimmage, that definitely helps your chances of one, controlling the clock and not allowing that high-powered Buffalo Bulls offense back on the football field.
McDaniels, quick throw far side, immediately dropped and swarmed under inside the 15-yard line. Excellent running to the ball by the Bulls. Loss on the play.
And that's
Teron
just a
Selby the catch.
simple issue of team speed right there. And Selby makes the catch, but what do you see? You see a swarming defense come up and hit him, and Hodge is one of the leaders on the defense, and he makes a play. And one of the reasons why he's one of the top tacklers in the MAC is because he can finish off plays just like that.
First man in, Cameron Lewis. Second time we called his name out on a tackle. Third and long. McDaniel swings it out into the flat, overthrown, incomplete, intended for Mike Waters, and another 3 and out for DSU.
Right now, the Hornets are showing that they don't have confidence in their ability to protect, hence why you're seeing a lot of the shorter routes. At some point, though, they're going to have to challenge this Bulls defense down the football field.
Very young offensive line, 3 juniors and 2 sophomores starting up front for the Hornets. Their starting center, Cade Pedro, not playing today, still recovering from an injury from last year. So his backup is in there at center, Ernest Sellers. Romo Martinez. Low wobbly kick will bounce at midfield, taken by Osborne at the 45. Heads into DSU territory, cuts to the right 45, and out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. Good field position for UB.
And KJ Osborne got the memo. Get up the field. No running around side to side. It's all about going north and south, not east and west.
So the field position battle being won by the Bulls here as they'll start this drive at the 41-yard line of the Hornets. UB 6-6 last year, 4-4 in the MAC, but won 3 straight to end the year to be bowl eligible. They were one of 3 bowl eligible teams that was not invited to a bowl, something that did not go unnoticed by this program, wanting to leave no doubt this year.
Exactly. When you get disrespected like that, it should leave a bad taste in your mouth. When you come into the season, you should want to do something about it and not leave it in the hands of the decision makers with the bowl committees, but go out there and do what you need to do from a win record standpoint to get a bowl environment.
Reed on the carry, but a good tackle by David Bowman, a freshman who checks in at 5'6", 155 pounds. A drop pass on second down. There is a flag down. Our referee is Amanda Sauer.
Offsides, defense, number 93. 5-yard penalty, second down.
That'll cost Delaware State 5 yards and what would have been an incomplete pass on second down.
Robert, it is imperative that you don't have mistakes like that, because when you're playing against greater competition, you cannot afford to give them free yards, because that was a positive play that just got negated because of something simple as being offsides. You have to pay close attention to detail and not negative situations like that impact the game.
Reed tackled from behind by Jihad Neibauer. The sophomore safety was the leading tackler for the Hornets last season.
Very impressed thus far with what I'm seeing on the defensive end for the Hornets, because they are holding their own. They're not getting destroyed at the line of scrimmage and point of attack. What you're seeing is the ability for them to actually make tackles and not allow great gains.
Short gain there sets up a third down and a yard. Throw to the far side, incomplete, miscommunication. It'll be fourth down. Probably go for it here from the 32-yard line.
Well, right now what we're seeing is a very out-of-sync Buffalo Bulls offense. And you wonder if they got caught up in the hype so far of we're playing against a FCS opponent. You can't do that, especially this team in particular, because 2 years ago, Albany came up here and won the football game. So they know that it's a possibility, but they have to do a better job.
Lance Leipold not happy. He calls a timeout for the Bulls. Inconsistent start for UB. it's not a stretch to say expectations are as high for Buffalo as they've ever been in the history of the program.
They certainly are, Robert. And one of the things you have to concern yourself with is those expectations. And Coach Leipold hinted around it with our conference call, but he didn't come full disclosure with it, in that you have to guard against guys buying into the hype and going out there doing things necessary to actually deserve it. And right now what we see on the offensive end does not leave much to be desired. And they have to do a better job of getting in sync and playing at a much higher level than what they currently are playing at.
They're going to go for it here on 4th and a yard. Unusual, they're going to run up to the line quickly here and snap the ball. Jackson under center, hands it off. And it is a first down for Emmanuel Reed inside the 30. So the first down of the game goes to Buffalo over 5 minutes in.
And this is simply a situation of low man win, and the power up front with the Bulls overpowers the Hornets. Nice pickup on the part of Reed of getting that first down.
Back to tempo here now. Jackson will look to the sideline for a play. Tyree Jackson completed 60% of his passes last year for almost 2,100 yards in just 8 games. 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. All day to throw here, wings it to the far side, it's caught inside the 10 and brought down for a first down out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Anthony Johnson on the catch.
And what you like about this play in particular is the fact that Jackson diagnoses that they're in zone. And what do you do when you have a 2-man zone? You hit on the corner routes, and that's exactly what they do. And Johnson finds that nice soft spot in that hole of that zone defense to pick up positive yards.
Throw to the near corner, caught for the touchdown. George Rushing, the Wisconsin transfer, gets UB on the board.
If you're the Hornets, you have to do a much better job of covering your man. You cannot allow any receiver, let alone a nice pass catcher like that, to run free down the football field. You have to stay on your man and not have mental errors in the backfield, because if you do have those type of errors, Rushing will take advantage of it all day, as well as Jackson.
All alone in the corner of the end zone, George Rushing on for the extra point is Adam Mitchison, 47-40 last season, and he puts it through 7-0 Bulls.
And that's exactly what the doctor ordered for the offense for the Bulls. Positive plays, pick up your first down, and then you go to your playmaker Johnson, and that's followed by a pass to Rushing for an easy touchdown, the quarter end zone with no one with him. And you have to do a better job, again, if you're the Hornets, of not making mistakes, because mistakes will get you beat soundly in this type of a situation.
Rushing played in 39 games at Wisconsin. Missed last year with a torn tendon in his ankle he suffered in preseason. Had some visits set up, Maryland, Toledo, but his first visit was to Buffalo, and then he canceled the rest of his visits, signed with the Bulls. He really didn't get back up to full speed until February or March. Very excited about his addition to this offense. Take some of that pressure off of Anthony Johnson.
Exactly. The fact that he didn't visit other schools tells you that he's a man of conviction and he likes what he sees here, and you should, because if you're able to keep Jackson here for another year, you can become the next Anthony Johnson on this football team. The scouts are obviously watching to see Johnson's play. Why not see what Rushing can do as well?
18 catches for 208 yards in his career at Wisconsin. That was his first touchdown. Mitchison to kick it away. At the goal line, Bryson Aline for the Hornets. End over end kick will sail out of the end zone. A booming kick for a touchback. So McDaniel's back out for DSU. What are some things you mentioned? They don't seem to have a lot of confidence in throwing the ball downfield and protecting the quarterback.
Right, what you've seen is a litany of short passes in the backfield and quick out routes and things of that nature. The team speed for the Bulls won't allow that to be positive plays. At some point, you got to go with either trickery or just attempt to do something in the intermediate to deep passing game standpoint, and we haven't seen that thus far, but it's probably an issue again because up front they don't feel they can have the level of protection needed to protect McDaniels.
Handoff for Richard Harris. Hole up the middle, closes quickly to the 28-yard line.
And that is the perfect example of being met by a wall of defenders. And as you see, Harris gets the handoff, he goes, sees the hole, but bam, right there. Hodge and Company bring him down with authority, as well as Banks in on the tackle.
Another run up the middle for Harris. Another short gain to the 30.
One of the guys you might want to consider avoiding if you're going to run the football is Hodge, as you see right here. He is going to make the tackle. There's not an issue about him missing tackles because he's one of the best, not in the MAC, but college football when it comes to making tackles.
Had a staggering 154 tackles last year, which was second in the entire country. First team All-MAC selection. McDaniel stands in, awkward shovel pass. Kind of a shot put to Selby, which is incomplete. And another 3 and out for the Hornets.
And that's symptomatic of a quarterback not trusting his offensive line. Just a little bit more patience, trust the guys, and yes, you may get hit in the process, but you have to stand tall and strong in that pocket if you're going to deliver an accurate pass to put your receiver in a position to succeed. And sure, McDaniels wants that pass back.
Hodge is the leading returning tackler in all of FBS. Romo Martinez on to punt it away for the 3rd time. KJ Osborne back deep to receive. Better kick this time. Very good kick. Spiraling kick that drives Osborne back to the 20-yard line. Gets ahead of steam up to the 30. And tackled there after a 51-yard punt and a 10-yard return. UB trying to get on the board again, leading it 7-0 early in the season opener here in Buffalo. 7-0 Buffalo leads. When I talked to some of the UB folks about what kind of crowd they were expecting tonight, they said it depends entirely on the students, how many students come out, and there are a lot of students here. Classes just started on Monday, but this is Labor Day weekend, so a lot of students may go home or not be on campus.
Right, and the ones that are here are smart because they're going to have opportunity to say as this season unfolds, we had opportunity to see one of the most prolific passing combinations in the Buffalo Bulls history.
Delaware State brought their band as well, about an 8.5-hour drive from Dover, Delaware, up here to Buffalo. Jackson out of the pistol set. 1st and 10 from the 30. Hands it off for Kevin Marks, a redshirt freshman, and he takes it out to the 34-yard line.
Yeah, one of the things that you're noticing thus far with the offensive attack for the Bulls is that they're keeping it balanced. They're not relying heavily on passing the football, but they're making sure they have an equal mix of run as well as pass.
Marks, a redshirt freshman from Norfolk, Virginia, broke his school record for rushing. 36 touchdowns his senior season and over 2,300 yards. Coach Leipold spoke highly of him when we talked to him earlier in the week. He's in there on this series. Jackson has time, airs it out near side, knocked down. Anthony Johnson, pass interference coming up here.
And anytime you find Anthony Johnson on the ground, you're going to get that call because the official is going to respect his prowess as one of the top receivers in the game. You can't knock the man down. You have to play with better technique than what you just saw displayed.
Pass interference, defense. Number 20, 15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
Kewan Selby, and he was actually double teamed on that play. It's kind of a bad break for Delaware State that he ran over Johnson.
Yes, and you have to do a better job of just staying underneath the receiver. And Kewan is trying to cover him, but you can't push him down, obviously. And there's not much you can really say on that particular pass, Coach, because ultimately he pushed the receiver down. And last time I checked, there are no rules allowing that unless you go back into the 20s and 30s of the early era of football.
He was well covered on the play and moves the ball out to midfield. 1st and 10. Jackson, all sorts of time, throws deep near side for Osborne. Broken up, incomplete. Kewan Selby redeems himself with the pass breakup.
And that's excellent coverage on the part of Kewan Selby of not panicking and getting under duress, but staying calm and waiting for the ball to get there, then making a play. And as you see right here, the key to being a good defensive back is not panicking under pressure. And right there, Selby does a real nice job of hitting the ball out and getting inside the numbers of the receiver, Osborne, to make the play.
2nd team All-MEAC last year, preseason. 1st team All-MEAC this season. Led the team in pass breakups and passes defensed, and you saw why there. Fake handoff. It's a pass over to the far side. And a short gain to the 46-yard line. Catch made by the backup tight end, Zach LaFave.
And one cannot say that the Hornets shy away from contact, because as you see right here, they brought the business to the receiver. And this is how you make open field tackle, just like that. low man wins in football 9 times out of 10.
That's Devin Smith, a cornerback, going up against the big tight end on 3rd down. It's a throw into the flat for Osborne, breaking tackles, but brought down at the 43-yard line. It'll be 4th down. If you're Buffalo and you're playing Alabama, you're probably going to punt here.
If you're Buffalo and you're playing Ohio, you're
Yes.
punting here. Now, obviously, you feel that you can win up front in this situation, hence why they're going for it. But in this particular series so far, they've gotten away from that balance that we talked about earlier.
This could be huge for Delaware State. A stop here on 4th down and 3. DSU looking for any sort of momentum. A 4th down stop would give it to them. Jackson throws, wide open, caught. Antonio Nunn breaking tackles inside the 30. To the 27, a 1st down. 16-yard gain on the play and right back to the line.
And one of the things that Isaiah Small has to do when you have man-on-man coverage, you got to make sure that your leverage is inside, because that's a situation right there where he was simply beat on alignment.
Jackson rolls out, throws it into the end zone. It's caught for the touchdown. Anthony Johnson, first touchdown of the season, 13-0.
And ladies and gentlemen, right there is one of the reasons why NFL scouts are salivating over this young man, as well as the throw by the quarterback Jackson. There was no space. Actually, excellent cover on the part of the defender, but when you are special, when you are great, guess what you do? You make plays just like that.
As you said, well covered.
It was good coverage on the part of the defender, but when you have skills and when you have a high rate of talent, you come down with those type of plays, and that's the type of plays that get you drafted.
Did he get his foot down? I think that's what they may take a look at. He's got to get 1 foot in. I'm not sure he did. I think his right foot was out of bounds. Good camera work there. I think when he had control of the ball, we'll get another look at it. I think his right foot came down out of bounds.
And pardon me, but the former DB and me will not allow me not to mention that there was a nice little push-off right there on the part of Johnson.
Good technique by Johnson.
They're not calling that as an offensive pass interference. Trust me, Robert.
And it looks like Buffalo is huddling up again. So I think they're getting word that this is not going to be a touchdown.
Yeah, as you see on the tail end right there, his foot is definitely out of bounds. A nice effort on the part of Johnson to make an attempt on that play.
Terrific throw on the run.
As well, in a tight spot. But give credit to Devin Smith, because he had some tight coverage. Because if it wasn't for that tight coverage, he didn't give Johnson enough room to operate on the sideline.
Anthony Johnson put up video game numbers a season ago. 76 catches for 1,356 yards, which is 113 yards a game, second in the country. He had 14 touchdowns.
And you see why. It was just on display now. That's more than likely going to be called back, but that catch alone was Madden-esque.
Preseason second-team AP All-American. The first player in school history ever to be named a preseason All-American. And one of only 3 players outside the Power 5 on that All-American first or second team. Ed Oliver of Houston is one of the other ones.
Exactly. And also considered one of the best college receivers in the game by draft prognosticators.
Amanda Sauer, the referee, still looking at it.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
That might be what we call a home cooking situation, or maybe because he said he got forced out of bounds by the defender.
He may have had possession
before
when his left foot was down, and they may have said he crossed the plane of the end zone while his left foot, which hit it it touched the goal line.
Right, so issue of which foot was down first.
Yep.
As long as there's one in college, you're good to go.
Low kick by Mitchison was blocked, and it's no good.
And that may seem minimal in the fact that he has scored a touchdown, but if you're going to be a premier team in the MAC, little things mean a lot, and you cannot afford to have a block extra point attempt. You have to do a much better job of your protection. Those things will come back to haunt you, and one of the things that Coach Leipold discussed in earnest was the idea that they need to improve on the special teams because it is a very important part of the game.
He said they had just really survived over the last few years. They want to prosper in that area. Jihad Neibauer blocked the kick.
And that was an example of a survivor's mentality. You have to excel at all facets of the game if you're going to be seriously in consideration, one, to make a bowl, and also to win this conference.
You just went down the field twice, scored 2 touchdowns. Now you're giving Delaware State a positive play. We'll see if the Hornets can turn it into something on offense. If you're Rod Milstead, how long do you go before you consider making a change at quarterback?
You may give McDaniels one more series or 2, and if he can't get the job done, you will more than likely see the insertion of Black into the game.
Black is standing with his helmet on right up against the sideline. We'll see if he comes out on first down. Another booming kick by Mitchison will be a touchback. And it looks like it is going to be Keenan Black, number 5, to come into the game after 3 ineffective series by the starter McDaniels. Black completed 47% of his passes last year, had 13 touchdowns and 11 interceptions.
And I'll say this in defense of McDaniels. The play calling early on was very conservative, so he didn't really get a chance to show what he could do from a air and out standpoint. But the last play in which he was in the game, he showed us a level of uncertainty, and coaches sense that and feel that. And what do? They insert the next quarterback, who's already in a tight quarterback competition battle with McDaniels and Black.
McDaniels 1 out of 4 for -5 yards. It's a handoff for Waters. He darts up the middle to the 30.
Well, there's definitely something in the interior part of that defense that the Hornets like, because they keep going back to that. And to their credit, they are getting positive yards. As you see right here, turn up the ball at the football field, you see the hole, you hit it for positive yards. That's all you can ask for.
Black runs it to the left. Flag down. Black thrown down a couple yards short of the first down. He started the last 5 games last year, including the 2 games Delaware State won in a 2-9 season.
Yeah, put up some decent passing numbers in the process as well, but he also shows that he has the ability to operate out of the option as well.
Offside. Defense. Number 12. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
That is the first down of the game for DSU. Out to the 35-yard line.
If you're the Bulls, you obviously don't want to give free yardage to a team that's struggling right now on the offensive end. You want to squash their level of confidence and not let them feel that they can compete with you. I mean, that's the key in all facets of football, but you definitely want to establish that early on.
Dropped. Good throw by Black, but it was dropped by Trey Gross at midfield. Would have been a first down.
And Trey Gross took the MEAC by storm last year as a freshman, producing positive plays. But that right there, you could not have asked for a better throw. In the middle of the football field, a little bit behind him, but you have to hold on to the football. When it hits your hands and you're on scholarship, your job is to catch that football.
Terrific throw by Black. Gross had 7 touchdowns last year, 2nd in the conference. Waters dragged down. After a gain of about 2. Shabuzi Onwuka, a sophomore defensive tackle, a former walk-on, brought him down. 3rd and long. Every time, 3rd and long. Not a situation any team wants to be in.
At all.
Black on 3rd and 8. Gets the play in from the sideline. Intercepted. Devon Russell jumped the route and picked it off. The senior gives it back to UB.
And Robert, that's the situation where I called it looked good in practice. But you cannot approach the practice game like you do actual game day conditions. One, you don't stare down a receiver, because if you do, everyone's going to make that play. You have to do a better job of looking off the defender, as well as simply not going to a situation where you see the guys completely covered, because, again, it worked in practice.
Devon Russell, the senior, played a few years ago at Eastern Michigan. First career interception for the senior from Newcastle, Delaware. So playing a school near his hometown. And excellent field position again for UB from the 35. Jackson throws, batted down at the line.
I've been nothing but impressed with what I've seen out of, though the score is 13-0, of what I've seen out of this Hornets defense. They are definitely competing with a high-powered offense in the Buffalo Bulls and give them a lot to deal with, up front in particular.
And been put in some tough situations, yes. Giving up the ball at the 40, the 35-yard line. I'm
glad you said that, Robert, because at some point, your will as a defense gets bent when you are put in these adverse situations time and time again. So it has to be a complementary football situation, and ultimately this offense for the Hornets is going to have to step up and help their defense out.
Defense stout again as they stop Reed after a 3-yard carry. Jason Smith, the transfer from Marshall, number 93.
And Jason, one, gets up the field and has the presence of mind to swing outside for a big man to get in on that tackle. Very impressive what he's done thus far. 2 back-to-back plays in which he played a part in making the play.
Made 6 starts at Marshall back in 2016. Didn't play last year. Jackson throws. Errant throw on 3rd down. Intended for Antonio Nunn. And they'll go for it again here on 4th down.
If I was one critiquing Tyree right now, I'd say you have to do a better job of your underneath and intermediate passes.
Devin Smith, the cornerback, looks a little banged up right now, grabbing at his right quad. He'll stay in there. He's covering Antonio Nunn at the top of the screen. Continues to grab at his right thigh area.
Don't be surprised if they go right at him.
Johnson in motion. Jackson has time, throws near corner. KJ Osborne. Touchdown! What a throw!
You will not see a prettier fade pass thrown in the college game. I said earlier that Tyree needs to work on his intermediate passing game, but one thing he certainly does not need to work on is his deep ball ability, and that is one of the reasons, again, why he's considered one of the best passers in the nation when it comes to throwing balls just like that. And great catch on the part of Osborne to come down with what I call the Willie Mays over-the-head catch.
I mean, Kewan Selby, you're thinking, I'm right step for step with this guy.
Solid coverage on the part of Selby, but when you have a quarterback that can drop it in tight spots in the way in which Tyree Jackson can, that gets you drafted to the next level. Because one of the things that you have to be able to do if you want to escalate to the pro game is have the ability to do what? Throw in tight spaces. And he has put on display with 2 deep balls in particular today that he can certainly do that. Tyree Jackson, very impressive what I've seen thus far in his ability to throw the deep ball. And you see it again right here. Looks to his safety off. That's a nice technical standpoint. Then comes back to the other side of football and casually just lets it go. And KJ Osborne comes down with the 6.
Maybe it's the first time you're seeing Tyree Jackson. You say, he looks huge. He's 6'7", 245. I'll give you a couple comps. Cam Newton is 6'5", 245, and Ben Roethlisberger is 6'5", 240. He is bigger than both of those players physically. He's a big kid.
And he has something in common with both those guys, in that he has the ability to move around the pocket and be active down the football field. He hasn't done that today, but he definitely possesses that ability.
Mitchison pops this one up, and it will be another touchback. Tyree Jackson, his 3rd touchdown pass of the first quarter. Don't get much prettier than that.
No, they do not. And that was just dropped in the perfect spot to where you give Osborne enough space to where you don't have to worry about does he have both feet in. Because on that situation, he had 3 or 4 yards left of real estate to work with. And the level of difficulty on that play, because that's what we call a low percentage pass. But when you have a guy that accurate and that precise with his ability to throw a deep ball, it becomes a high percentage play.
Keenan Black back in there at quarterback. A couple of moments on the last drive as he hands it off for Aline. Big hit at the 30-yard line, but a gain of 5. Hodge in the middle of that play.
There was some definitely kalaka-lacking going on out there on that particular play right there. And I'm not surprised Hodge was in on that because he's known for doing a lot of kalaka-lacking.
Aline, 5'6", 165 pounds.
Runs much harder than his size is advertised.
He'll get the handoff again. A lot of running on 1st and 2nd down.
And success with it as well. Is the 3rd and long situations that have put the Hornets in a bind. But from a running standpoint, they've had positive plays, in particular on 1st and 2nd down.
Continue to end up in 3rd downs, although this is a 3rd and 2.
And manageable.
Just short. About a half a yard short. Aline, there is a flag down in the backfield. Bryson Aline, a senior from Wilmington, Delaware. 240 yards last season.
Holding. Number 63, offense. 10-yard penalty. Third down.
Now was going to be 4th and half a yard. So it's an interesting decision there. No, they will decline the penalty now because it was going to be 4th and half a yard, about a yard. So they will decline it, figuring that Delaware State will punt.
Exactly. Why give them another opportunity with a little, obviously, less real estate to work with? But if you can get them on a punt team on the field, put them out there. Makes all the sense in the world.
Romo Martinez, the junior, 4th in the country in punting last year at almost 45 yards a kick. His brother, younger brother, Jose Romo Martinez, is the team's kicker. Another booming kick. Osborne calls for the fair catch at the 14, turning the field position in favor of the Hornets. Fidel Romo Martinez, a 52-yard punt with no return.
Exactly. And what was really great about that punt in particular was that it didn't have the hang time. It came straight down and allowed the defender as well to get there. We actually had the hang time, and then when you have coverage like that, you're going to have positive plays. So nice job on his part. One of the reasons why he's an All-American.
Jackson back out there. And this veteran offensive line led by James O'Hagan, the center, number 77, a 4-year starter. He has started every game that Lance Leipold has been the head coach here over his first 3 seasons.
And that's what we call holding it down. And when you have that type of leadership, that type of experience at the center position, the rest of the offensive line falls in favor of all the things that he calls because he understands the offense. And right here we have another beautiful deep ball. And almost brought down by Osborne.
Osborne went after it with Jihad Neibauer. Hung up there forever.
Yes. That would have been a nice punt, but instead it was a pass. And one of the things you don't want to have your receiver do if you're Jackson is have him have to come back into the body of the defensive back in order to make that play. You want it on the outside shoulder because as he moves up to higher competition, that's likely an interception.
O'Hagan making his 37th consecutive start today, a senior from Seaford, New York. It's a handoff, big hole up the middle, created by that O-line. Out past the 20 for Emmanuel Reed. Sets up a 3rd and short from the 22.
Yeah, on that play in particular, they ran behind O'Hagan. That's exactly why you appreciate the fact that he's a 4-year starter because he can blow up holes just like that.
Incomplete. Intended for George Rushing. Good coverage there by Devin Smith. Second time we've called his name out, and Buffalo will probably have to punt.
And it's fair to say the coverage has been excellent on the part of the Hornets. It's just that the quarterback, the receiver combination, and the ability to make excellent catches in tight spaces has won throughout the course of the day thus far.
Delaware State's defense has been, I'd venture to say, very kind of better than we thought they might be coming in. You thought Buffalo might just march up and down the field. I know the score doesn't reflect that.
I'm pretty sure Evan Finnegan, the punter for the Bulls, felt that as well. Didn't think his service would be needed that much today.
Delaware State had one of the 10 worst defenses in terms of points allowed last year. Gave up 38 points a game. They were very poor in terms of pass defense. Now, some of their stats were skewed by the 2 FBS games they played. They lost to West Virginia 59-16, and then they closed the year at Florida State, and with the Seminoles picking up a predictably one-sided victory 77-6. So that skews those stats a little bit, but their defense was not strong last year.
Right, and what also skews those stats, and you've seen it being on display today, is that if your offense is constantly doing 3 and outs, 3 and outs, 3 and outs, what does that do? That gives the other team's offense more opportunities to gain more yards and put more points on the board. So that doesn't help their cause as well. That's why it's so important to play complementary football to where you don't keep the defense on the football field that long of a time so they don't have poor numbers.
There's a flag down, although this will be the best field position Delaware State's had today after a 34-yard punt. Rod Milstead not lacking for energy or fire on that sideline.
Warning, Delaware State.
It will not be a penalty. Milstead 8-year NFL player.
Now, there's normally a person, normally it's the strength and conditioning coach whose job is to keep guys back. So whoever that guy is, I wouldn't want to be him right now because that is his job. As the other, obviously, skill position coaches talk to their players. But strength and conditioning guy, keep them back.
If that warning becomes a penalty next time, somebody's going to be in trouble. Keenan Black out of the shotgun. Back to pass on first down. Has time. Black rolls out. He's going to look to run. And he's out of bounds near midfield.
And I like the decision making on the part of Keenan. There was nothing there. Give credit to the Buffalo Bulls secondary in that they had the receivers for the Hornets plastered. So if there's no one there, don't do what you did last time. Force the ball and lead to an interception. He made the correct decision on that play right there by running the football to pick up positive yards.
Lean up the middle in the final minute of this first quarter. Talking to the coaches, they didn't come right out and say it, but what prevented Buffalo from having a better year last year, in addition to some injuries, was their defense just needed to get better this year.
Right, and that's been one of the issues since Coach Lipo has entered into this Bulls arena is the defense and getting the speed necessary to play at a higher level, and they're finally seeing the fruits of their labor, and that you definitely have a fast defense on the football field today.
Black picks up the first down to the 45. Defensive coordinator Brian Borland said he wanted to be more disruptive, have more tackles for losses, sacks, turnovers. They have created a turnover in this first quarter.
As you see right here, the snap was off, and just that little bit of snap being off destroys and disrupts the timing, which creates a negative play on the part of the Hornets.
Should be the last play of the first quarter if they can get it off in time, and they will not. Buffalo with 3 passing touchdowns from Tyree Jackson, and at the end of one, it's the Bulls of the MAC leading Delaware State of the MEAC 20-0. We're back in the second quarter after this.
The ESPN app now with ESPN Plus. Get more ESPN and download now.
Scores, highlights, and breaking news on the go, as well as one-tap access to stream live events and analysis from the ESPN family of networks. It's all available to you with the ESPN app. You can make the ESPN app your own by selecting your favorite teams and sports. Back here in Buffalo, second quarter set to get underway. 20-0, the Bulls with the lead. First down, first play in Buffalo territory for DSU. And it's a loss of a yard. Robert Lee and 9-year NFL veteran Gerard Cherry with you. Gerard, a 3-time Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots, 36, 38, and 39. 3 rings between the two of us.
Be at the right place at the right time.
Give yourself some credit there. A contributor, particularly on special teams, to those title teams. Keenan Black on second down. Throws deep near side. Incomplete. Good coverage by Tatum Slack.
And one of the things that Keenan's going to have to do as well, like the idea of taking a trip downtown and threatening the defensive back, but you have to have the ball on the outside shoulder. If you're going to be vertical and attack, you have to put the ball in the right placement, because that could also lead to an interception as well. Put it on the outside shoulder and give your receiver a chance to make a play on the football.
Quana Kali, the intended receiver. 3rd and 11 for the Hornets, 2-9 a season ago. Pressure's on. And sacked and fumbled the ball. It's on the ground and it is recovered at the 39-yard line by Buffalo. Chuck Harris, the captain, the senior, with the fumble recovery. There's a flag down.
And as you said earlier, Robert, defense coordinator Brian Borland wants to have more positive plays on a defense. And right here is an example of a positive play. You force the fumble and then you recover the football.
There was a flag after the play.
After the play, on sportsmanlike conduct, number 77, Delaware State. That is his first of the game. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Tackle R.J. Moley will cost them 15 more.
And RJ just has to simply be smart. But what you like about this jailbreak situation for the Buffalo Bulls is that you attack the quarterback, but you have the sense and presence of mind to make a play, but here's the penalty right here. And this is where you have to be smart, because being a tough guy in this situation does not help your cause. The turnover is already taking place, and being upset and up in arms about the situation only compounds the problem, and now it puts the Bulls in a much more advantageous situation where they're almost in the red zone and in a situation where they could score quicker than would be the case had you not made that poor decision by being aggressive at the wrong point in time.
Two players caused that fumble, Malcolm Kuntz and Ladarius Mack, who is the younger brother of former Bulls great Khalil Mack. We'll be talking about it a little bit later on. He was in the news today. But two men forced that fumble, and Chuck Harris recovered it. Excellent field position again. Throw quickly to the near side, caught by Anthony Johnson. Darts upfield inside the 15, takes a hit at the 13-yard line for a first down.
And what I like about what they're doing on offensive end is that they're showing, though it's not about one player, but why not reward Johnson for his hard work and show the powers that be that he is a complete receiver? As you see right here, he does nothing but a simple hook route. But the ability to have sure hands and then pick up positive yards after the catch is another sign that this guy is a complete receiver.
A big theme was getting the ball to him in different ways, moving him around, because you know defenses are going to be keyed on him.
Right, and you've seen situations today where he's been double teamed, but what has he done? Found a way to make a play.
Only 3 offensive linemen on that play as Kevin Marks runs it up the field to the 12. So they had 3 players bunched on each sideline and 3 players in the center of the field along the line. Now back to a more conventional formation on second down. Tempo here for the Bulls.
You'd be surprised how those little wrinkles can actually throw a defense off. Wait, where's the guy at? What's going on here? And while you're thinking about that, they're picking up positive yards.
Marks stays in the backfield, gets the handoff again, pushing his way forward inside the 5, close to a first down.
And what you're witnessing now is a situation in which the defense is tired for the Hornets. They have been on the football field for a lot of time, and they're getting pushed around now. And this is one of those situations where the Bulls are having their way and just pushing, because you see positive gain after positive gain.
Stopped inside the 1, Kevin Marks on first and goal. I would say chances are high that Kevin Marks is going to get the handoff again here on second and goal from the 1. No, it's a throw all along. Flag down. George Rushing, the easiest touchdown he'll have all season if it stands up. There's a flag down on the near side.
Offsides, number 26, Delaware State. The penalty is declined. Touchdown.
Robert, you may mention that's the easiest touchdown he'll ever see. That's the easiest touchdown anyone will ever get. He was literally uncovered. And it's those type of situations that you have to remedy and rectify if you're Coach Milstein. And I know he did not coach his guys not to leave a receiver wide open, but you have to play smart and survey the football field and not beat yourself. And right now we're witnessing the defense for the Hornets do exactly that in beating themselves. You cannot afford to leave a guy uncovered.
Complete breakdown in coverage as Mitchison puts the extra point through. 4th touchdown of the game for Tyree Jackson, second to rushing, 27-0.
A touchdown! That is a touchdown! Yes! Look at that! Yeah! Oh my God, he juked every single guy in the field.
This kind of breakdown just can't happen.
No, it cannot. And conventional thought and theory would tell you, yes, it's a run formation when you have 3 tight ends in the game and they're bunched together close to the line of scrimmage, but you have to survey the football field and make sure that you do not leave a receiver uncovered. And actually that play is designed to force a defense to think that it's going to be a running play, and you sneak at the last second the receiver out there, and that's just a simple play that you cannot have take place. And as Delaware State moves forward, you have to not allow those things to take place if you want to make an improvement on your football. So it just simply can't happen.
Mitchison continues to crush the ball on the kickoffs. One touchback after another. Very warm night here in Buffalo. Temperatures in the mid-80s at kickoff. And it looks like it's going to be Jack McDaniels back in at quarterback.
Yeah, welcome to Buffalo, Florida.
Yes. Delaware State's combined quarterback play, 1 out of 7 for -5 yards and an interception. Contrast that with Buffalo's quarterback Jackson, 10 out of 17, 122 yards and 4 touchdowns.
And right now, Coach Rob Milstein is searching for a situation in which he can identify his quarterback, because now you have McDaniels back in the game. And what happens in these situations, the guy never really gets a chance to get a rhythm, but that is an excellent catch and pass on the part of McDaniels. And he keeps making plays like that, they will not take him off the football field.
Terrific throw and catch to Kwana Kali for easily DSU's biggest play of the game.
And we saw a similar throw by Black earlier, but the difference between the two passes is this: outside shoulder. That gives the receiver a chance to make a play on the ball. Throw it where the defender is not. Excellent pass on the part of McDaniels.
41-yard play, and now a handoff up the middle for Waters. I think that may have been more yards on that play than they had the entire game up to that point.
Certainly, and it is a beauty. McDaniels says, you know what, I want to be considered in this quarterback race and taken seriously, and you make throws like this, outside shoulder, perfect ball placement, 2 yards away from the sideline. You cannot ask for a better situation.
Nice little action play there, as it was actually a run to Mike Waters for a good gain, close to a first down.
And if you're a defense coordinator for Buffalo Bulls, Mike Borland, what are you saying? Brian Borland, excuse me. What you're saying right now is, guys, we have to continue to apply the pressure. We cannot rest on our laurels because we're up 27 points.
Waters stopped about a yard short of the first down. DSU will likely go for it here on 4th and a yard from the 25.
And at this point, what do you have to lose? You're in great field position. You
Have
need
to
some
go
points.
for it
You
here.
need 6, not 3.
Eric Day in his 4th season as the Hornets offensive coordinator. Trying to keep this drive alive here on 4th and a yard. And they will. Mike Waters breaks inside the 15 to the 10-yard line, a first down. Sophomore from Philadelphia, missed the last 7 games last year with a knee injury, but was a very good player, 3rd-team all-conference as a freshman.
And we see why. When you see daylight, what do? You hit the hole just like Waters did right there. Great pickup and blocking on the part of Waters as well as that offensive line.
At 820 yards as a freshman, a school record for a first-year player. He'll get the handoff. No, keeping it McDaniels, and spun down on 1st and goal. He gains 2.
Well, had McDaniels had handed that ball off, would probably been lost in the backfield. So great decision on his part to pick up some positive yards, because you do not want to start with a negative play after picking up a first down.
Got to be 4-down territory here on 2nd and goal. McDaniels hands it off to Waters, running hard over the right side inside the 5. 5'8", 210. Little power pack Mike Waters.
And if I was Eric Day, Robert, I would feed Mike Waters until he dries up.
Third and goal from the 4. Delaware State trying to get on the board. This play blown up from the start, a loss. It'll be 4th and goal. Onwuka in there with a host of others.
And right there, what you saw was the offensive line not getting any type of push. And when you don't get any push, that's what occurs. Now, I'm surprised they're actually going for the field goal here. I would just say go for it. But that's why I'm up here in the booth with you. And Coach Millstead's out there calling an actual play.
So Jose Romo Martinez, as Coach Milstead wants to get something positive out of this drive, will try to kick a field goal here, 23-yard attempt. Redshirt freshman, first career attempt for Romo Martinez. And it's good. Delaware State on the board with 8:56 left in the first half, 27-3.
And you definitely want the positive play, and that certainly was that, getting some points on the board. But sometimes as a player, and Coach Milstead can relate to this, you're upset when you get a field goal as opposed to a touchdown, and you'd rather go for it and take your chances. But hey, they got 3 points on the board. That was a nice drive, and give a lot of credit to McDaniels for throwing an excellent pass. And along with Waters and what they were able to do, so offensive coordinator Brian Day actually seen some daylight in his, Eric Day has seen some daylight in his play calling.
We asked Coach Milstead, he won Super Bowl 29 with the 49ers against the Chargers, said, does that give you any credibility with the players? And that's what he had to say. It's not about him, but it's about knowing that he's done it before.
Right. And when he says this is what you have to do, you have to respect that, because, again, he's been where they would like to go as a football player. And one of the things that you do is you honor those words, but he said it correctly. I have the formula. I have the blueprint. But it's up to you to apply yourself and heed my words and follow that example and go from there. It's all about your effort and your execution. So he can certainly tell them how to get there. It's up to them to follow.
Played in the NFL for 8 years with the Cowboys, also the Browns, the Redskins, and won that Super Bowl with the 49ers. First kickoff of the game is by DSU, is returned by UB out past the 30. Isaiah King.
And one more point about Coach Milstead, Robert. When you have a guy that's been to multiple teams, that tells you that he's a survivor, that he's a grinder. And when he applies those same rules to these guys and they accept that and they start following that, you're going to see a change in this program because that's exceptional what he did. You have no idea how challenging and hard it is to be on multiple teams and make a squad.
And it's been rough for DSU. 3-30 over the last 3 years under head coach Kenny Carter. 5-40 over the last 4 years. It's really been a struggle. Picked last in the MEAC this year. These things don't happen overnight. Good defense out on the edge.
You know what, though? Consistent plays like that where you make the tackle and you have a positive play on defensive end, you keep building those and stacking those, as you see right here. Make the sure tackle. Do what's necessary. And right here, Kewan Selby does just that.
Quick snap and a run up the middle by Jonathan Hawkins to the 32. You're just tuning in, you're looking at the score, you say Buffalo's just marching up and down the field. That is not the case. They've had several short fields where they've gotten the ball at the 30-yard line, the 40-yard line, and they've scored to their credit, but they haven't just marched up and down the field against this Hornets defense.
Yeah, it's fair to say in the first quarter it was pretty evenly matched, and then it got away from them. But the defense, though it's not reflected in the score right now, I certainly agree with you, Robert, has done a fairly good job.
Hawkins in motion, Jackson all sorts of time. Jackson running around, throws it for wide open Hawkins at the 31. Up the sideline to the 45, and then, could be a late hit coming up here on Jihad Nybauer after a very awkward jumping tackle at midfield.
That was wrong on several levels. One, why are you jumping in the air trying to hurl someone? And that's what happens when you play video games or watch too much Sports Center. There was no need whatsoever to jump in the air.
Personal foul. Late hit out of bounds. Number 2 of Delaware State. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
But to add insult to injury, Jihad had no business leading with your helmet. And he's fortunate for him, they're actually not tossing him out the game.
Well, that's another personal foul.
Right.
The second this quarter by Delaware State. You just can't have that. Those are the mistakes that Coach Milstead wants to eliminate.
Exactly, because when you go up against any opponent, let alone someone that has more firepower, size, and strength than you, you don't want to give them free yardage and opportunities.
They just said the previous play is under review
and
now.
You know why, because what I just said.
Nybauer, I think, will be scrutinized for that sort of leading with the helmet.
Certainly. When
the play was over.
It was wrong on multiple levels. One, no need to jump in the air right there to your own guy. But you like his effort. I should not fault the young man for wanting to give effort right there. We're talking about Jonathan Hawkins right here. As you see, there's no reason to jump in the air, but right here, no need. And you could make the argument that there is targeting taking place right here. Because there's a jump.
Watch number 2.
And then right here. That would be considered targeting from that angle. Now you see the side angle, looks like he's trying to turn his head, but from that angle right there, it looks like it's targeting.
Would be a huge loss.
Yes,
Nybauer is a captain. He was the team's leading tackler last year, a sophomore from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. 78 tackles to lead the team a season ago, and is in danger right now of being ejected from the game.
It certainly is, and you want that leadership and experience out there on the football field because, again, it's not reflecting the score. I'll keep saying that. But I've been impressed with what I've seen out of this defense. They've held their own on several occasions in which they were put in tight spots.
Second time these two schools have ever met. Buffalo beat Delaware State 40-30 back in 1997. This is Buffalo's 20th season as an FBS school. Went FBS, or Division I at the time, back in 1999. We talked about those expectations. In those 19 seasons, 3 years they did not have a losing record. One of them was last year, 08, 13, and 17. They haven't had a winning season since 2013. I think that's why there's a big crowd here and people are excited about UB football.
Yes, the expectations should be high because whenever you have NFL scouts
After
coming in.
review, that personal foul is personal foul with targeting. Number 2. He is disqualified for the remainder of the game. First down.
That is not how Jihad Nybauer wanted his night to end. On a personal foul, out of bounds, a late hit, he is ejected from the game. As we said, he was the team's leading tackler last year. Kind of the poise and the composure you have to keep, even when the score is 27-3.
Right, and in that situation, you have to be aware of what's going on because you're on the sideline. He's out of bounds. There's no point to even go down that road. But I get it. You're a competitor and you want to do your part, but you have to be obviously smarter than that.
So their starting free safety is now out of the game. Jackson on 1st and 10 from the 34. Muhammad Tiam, a true freshman, is Nybauer's backup. 6 on the play clock. 2 on the play clock. They won't get the play away. So after all that delay, a delay of game will cost them 5 yards.
Delay of game, number 3, Buffalo. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
And when the Bulls go back and watch this film as a team collectively, these are the type of things that Coach Leipold is going to point out. Guys, if you want to be considered one of the best in the MAC, we cannot have lapses like that. We have to play better. We had a time on our hands and we still can get the play off. That's inexcusable if you're serious about being one of the premier powers in the MAC.
And stop for a loss. Jarrett Patterson, his first carry. Good penetration there by the DSU defense for a loss on the play. Patterson, a true freshman from Glendale, Maryland. His twin brother, James Patterson, is starting at linebacker, also a true freshman.
And what you like about, again, is the effort on the part of the Hornets. You appreciate the fact that these guys are not resting on their laurels and going out there playing with a lot of heart and conviction in a very tough situation that they've been placed in on the defensive end today.
Kai Vakante, an all-MEAC player in there for the tackle. Jackson airs it out again towards the end zone. Incomplete. Flag down. Anthony Johnson, the intended receiver. Devin Smith there on the coverage.
Hello.
I believe there's also a flag near the line of scrimmage. No, just one in the end zone.
Pass interference, number 17, Delaware State. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And here's the issue at hand. Devin Smith, along with the other DBs for the Hornets, the coverage is tight. The coverage is nice. Now take the next step in your technique. Turn around and get your head towards the football because that was a situation where you may have intercepted the ball because it was thrown inside. No, you can't hold his hand, but you have to turn around and locate the ball because, again, you're going against a premier receiver. The referees are going to give Johnson the benefit of doubt and not you.
He's running step for step.
Step for step. He has to be encouraged. If I'm a pro scout, you know who I'm watching right now as well? I'm saying this young man, Devin Smith, as well as Keywan, can actually play on a higher level as well because they're sticking with these receivers that are highly touted from Buffalo.
It's an automatic first down to the 25-yard line. The running game for Buffalo has just not gotten it going here as it's Patterson for a loss.
Again,
maybe no gain.
Not reflected in the score because you see 27 points with 6 minutes and some change left. You're thinking that it's been a great offensive outing, but there's some things that the Buffalo Bulls would like to have back from an execution standpoint. As you see right here, just the ability for the defense to swarm, and that's exactly what you do. Tackle by committee, game tackle rather, is how you want to approach it, and that's exactly what they did on that play.
Just 45 yards on the ground for UB on 14 carries.
As they move up in competition, it's imperative that they have that balanced attack. Because at some point, you'll figure out how to, if the defense coordinator knows what you're doing, he's going to figure out a way to stop Jackson and Johnson. So it's important that this offensive running game becomes more high-powered and more consistent through the course of the season, obviously. With this being game one, you'll give them a pass, but it has to be better.
Coming up on 6 minutes left in the first half. Patterson in motion. 3rd down. And short of the first down, catch made by Zach Lefebvre at the 19-yard line. 4th and 3.
That's what I call the get back on track pass play right there. Nothing too fancy, just hit the open receiver and pick up positive yards.
So again, a chance for the Hornets to get some momentum here with a stop. 4th down and 3, have to get to the 16-yard line and a timeout. Timeout called by Delaware State, their second. We will step aside with 5.5 minutes to go here in the first half, and UB leading 27-3.
Oh my God, he juked every single guy on the field.
Buffalo's done a nice job keeping drives to get alive tonight. 3 out of 3 on 4th down.
Yes, they have done a great job of picking up those necessary yards to continue the drives. And right here you see the ability of their signal caller, Jackson, to hit the open receiver. But right here is what I call a situation that will hurt your feelings. 4th down, hoping you're off the football field, and it leads to a touchdown. Great pass on the part of Jackson and great catch on the part of Osborne.
That was just mean. Terrific play there on a 4th down, facing a 4th down and 3 here. Quick snap, throw into the flat, wide open Osborne. He'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown. KJ Osborne's 2nd touchdown catch of the game. It's 33-3.
Fundamentals. Right there was an example of lacking in defensive fundamentals. You have to have someone set the edge. You never go inside when there's the potential for someone to get outside of you. And Selby has to do a much better job as a senior member of this defense in his responsibilities. If you leave someone outside there open, guess what they're going to do? They're going to take advantage of that lack of leverage and score just like they did right there for the Bulls.
Extra point is up and good. Last year, Tyree Jackson threw for 12 touchdowns. We're about 25 minutes into the season. He has 5 touchdown passes already.
And counting. For the situation right there, you have to take advantage of it. The opportunity, he did just that.
No, it's not free. You have to pay.
No, the food. Of course we're going to pay for the food. ESPN Plus, more sports, $4.99 a month. That's a touchdown. That is a touchdown. Yes. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he juked every single guy on the field.
Which could lead him to the next level.
Exactly, because one of the things that you want to see in this day and age with NFL-ready quarterbacks is the ability to do what? Operate from the pocket, because those are the guys that tend to have the most success and longevity to their careers as well. And I believe when he got injured, he learned the hard way that my best ability is availability by staying in that pocket.
He also has that mobility, though, when necessary. He is an impressive young man, very strong arm, huge size, as we mentioned. This kickoff will be returned from the 5-yard line, bobbling the ball near the 10. And a good return out past the 30 by Kwana Kali with that big pass reception earlier. Tyree Jackson, certainly no shortage of publicity for Anthony Johnson, but Jackson, the pro scouts are seeing him. Mel Kiper listed him earlier this week as one of the top 5 underclassmen quarterbacks in the country as far as draft prospects. So he's not off the radar.
Certainly not. And 2 throws in particular that I'm thinking about, the level of difficulty was off the charts, and he made it look easy. And that's what you want to see if you're a scout.
Waters running the sweep over the right side, fumbled the ball. It's on the ground, and it is recovered by an offensive lineman. Leaky Sue, a sophomore lineman, fortuitously recovers it at the 32-yard line.
And Leaky's a Johnny-on-the-spot guy right there, unfortunately so, because if that was the case, we're going to get another dosage of Jackson on the football field. So that was a very important recovery on the part of Sue.
Final 5 minutes of the first half. Waters running in that direction again to the 35.
And I'm surprised Eric Dade, offensive coordinator for the Hornets, has not ran Waters more, because he's had some success and picked up some positive yards. I've been impressed, though it hasn't been breakaway runs. I like the way Waters has run the football tonight. A lot of conviction and power.
Ten carries, 37 yards for Waters. 7 for 17 for the starter, Bryson Aline. Third down. Stepping up, McDaniels. He's going to run for it, and he's got the first down. Takes a hit. The 43-yard line, flag down. Khalil Hodge in there as he started to slide and took a big blow.
And right there on that play, if you're the Bulls, you have to be smart. Though McDaniels picked up the first down, why give them more positive yards in that situation? You have to play with discipline. As you see the tail end right here, he's going for a slide. It's deceptive, but you have to realize they're protecting the quarterbacks on all levels of football, be it elementary school, grade school, high school, college, as well as pro. You cannot make those plays on quarterback.
Targeting, number 22, Buffalo. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That was Joey Banks. Interesting story. Banks and Hodge on that tackle. They're both from the Bay Area, so they're going to review this play now to see if Banks is going to be ejected. But they both played at the City College of San Francisco. Hodge a year older than Banks, and now both across the country here in Buffalo.
And that's what you call digging in the crates, trying to find players, diamonds in the rough. And City College San Francisco, being from the Bay Area, definitely I'm familiar with their program and that they have put out a lot of players. You'd be surprised the amount of guys that they've sent to colleges across the country because they have a really good junior college program.
So we're going to take a look at what referee Amanda Sauer is looking at. So this is exactly what she's looking at right now.
And from that angle, she can't see it, but from the level of his trajectory, it appears to be targeting to me, if you're going to call it close. Hodge is obviously blocking the vantage point that she has, but just from that angle, it looks like he's leading with his head, and that's a no-no. So Joey Banks may have to go.
Already, DSU safety Nybauer was ejected
and he
from
knows
the game.
it. You can tell in his eyes, he knows it. And you see right here, if you lower that head, he lowered that head. Can't lead with the head, it has to be the shoulder. And it's a tough spot to be in because as a defender making a tackle, sometimes you feel the safer version is not from a body placement standpoint to lead with your shoulder because that can lead to a separation of your shoulder.
Couldn't you say that he was planning on hitting him with his shoulder and the quarterback kind of moved into the helmet area? I mean,
you can make that argument. You certainly can.
It's
and
a
I would
tough
make
call.
that argument. But if they're trying to legislate the game for more safety, they're going to lead on the side of safety more so than giving him the benefit of the doubt, obviously.
Absolutely. So Joey Banks, a backup safety, and his participation in the rest of this game right now hangs in the balance. We'll go back and take a look at the same view that the referee is looking at.
Right here, if Joey just squares up and allows the quarterback to run him over, everything is fine. But think about what I just said. Allows the quarterback to run him over. So you are putting the defender in a position of defenselessness as well. But it goes back to attempting to make a game by nature, which is violent, safe. Oxymoron we're working with here.
Amanda Sauer, an interesting story. A female referee, not the most common thing you're going to see, but real interesting story on ESPN.com about how she worked her way up, had an interest in the game, and worked her way up on parts of Cruz, and is now refereeing games here in the MAC. Not going to beat around the bush. Very unusual to see a female referee. There are female officials in the NFL now, but she's done a nice job tonight.
Right, this is my second opportunity to call a game in which she's been the official, and nothing but praise for the fact that she calls a good game, and it's been fairly balanced tonight in regards to penalties being thrown.
Lengthy review here with 4:09 left to go in the second quarter. 5 touchdown passes for Tyree Jackson. Buffalo led after one quarter 20-0. Made it 27-0 before Delaware State kicked a field goal. And another touchdown pass by Jackson has made it 34-3. Next week, Buffalo plays on the road at Temple. Temple lost to Villanova today, a very good FCS school. Then Buffalo returns home to take on Eastern Michigan in its conference opener in 2 weeks. Then at Rutgers.
Yeah. And that's, again, step up in the competition.
But not an impossible game by any means.
Not at all. Not at all. But you cannot have the mistakes that you're seeing out here tonight, because a team like Rutgers, what are they going to do? They're going to take advantage of that. That's why it's so important that you clean up all things. And it doesn't matter the level of competition. You always want to play a clean game.
The ruling on the field was a personal foul. Late hit on the quarterback with targeting. The ruling of targeting is overturned. Will be first down on the 43-yard line. Correction, 42-yard line.
So it is a personal foul, but it is not a targeting and ejection situation for Joey Banks. He will stay in the game.
And Joey, for lack of a better description, dodged a bullet.
Yeah. A little second lease on football life for tonight here for Joey Banks, but it is a DSU first down at the 42-yard line.
Low. Their second of the half.
Buffalo calls a timeout. So after that long delay
Please
for the
reset.
review, UB calls its second timeout. We talked about Delaware State. It's been a struggle. 5-40 over the last 4 years. Have lost 21 consecutive road games coming into tonight's contest. Did win 2 of their last 5 last year, and one of them was at Florida State. Return 11 starters.
And Robert, as you say that, and you look at the score and you watch this game, I hope these guys do not get frustrated and put down and let down, because I'm seeing positive signs. And when you think about the fact that Coach Middlestein has just taken over this program, there's something that could be built here. I sense it and I feel it, though, again, not reflected in the score. I've seen some positive things tonight. Now, obviously, they got St. Francis next week, so that'll be more of an even playing field for them to see what they can do against even competition. But they've had some positive plays tonight against a much more talented football team.
Picked last of 10 teams in the MEAC preseason poll. The first place team in the preseason was North Carolina A&T. McDaniels, pump fakes, flag down. It's going to be some sort of penalty coming up here, likely against Buffalo's Roy Baker.
And I believe what's going to happen for this team in particular, they're going to keep hopefully grinding, and realizing that, hey, it's going to take some time to get the losing culture.
Number 18, Buffalo. The
out of the
ball will
building.
be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
As you see right here, you cannot hold on to the receiver. Even though the ball, you can make the argument, was not catchable, they're going to call that every time. This is an offensive-oriented game, so as a defensive back, you cannot have any type of infraction, because if you do, they're going to call it. It's really that simple.
McDaniels throws the quick slant and immediately tackled was Trey Gross. The 26-yard line. Tackle made by Brandon Williams. Normally number 14, but wearing the most cherished number in Buffalo football, number 41, which honors the memory of Solomon Jackson, a player who passed away a couple of years ago. This year they've announced that a different player will wear that 41 every single game. Tonight it's Brandon Williams. Throwing to the near side. Collie, incomplete. Defended by Devon Russell, who had an interception earlier.
And McDaniels, well, a couple things on that particular play. As a receiver, you have to do a better job of giving yourself space, because McDaniels can only, nice throw actually, only somewhat to the outside, but you're running out of real estate to work with because you didn't set the defender up nice enough at the line of scrimmage to give yourself operating room. There's so many intricacies to that particular play. That's why it's called a low percentage pass in the first place.
Third down. Waters, nice hole up the middle, and he is close to first down yardage at the 20.
My recipe for the night is feed Waters. Nothing but positive yards when he's running the football.
Was a freshman All-American at the FCS level. As we said, 820 yards, 5 touchdowns in 2016. Had a serious knee injury against West Virginia last year that knocked him out for the rest of the season, but has come back strong here so far tonight. Under 3 minutes to go, first half. Waters picking his way forward, fumbled the ball. Second time he's fumbled today. Who recovered? It looks like UB's got it at the 17.
Now, Mike's trying to say that he's down and don't worry about it, but the officials are saying something else. And Brian Bortman is getting his wish. He said he wanted to create more plays on the defensive end. They've done just that.
Was Waters down?
And it's totally a fumble.
Yep.
He lost the ball before he even got close to having his knee on the ground. And you have to do a better job. If I'm going to praise you, Mike, please hold on to the football.
Yep.
You make us both sound and look suspect.
Your former coach, Bill Belichick, he doesn't have a lot of tolerance for guys who put the ball on the ground.
That would have you on the next trip out of Massachusetts if you keep doing that 2 times in one game.
Might not even be on the team the next week.
Might not even make it out of halftime.
1st and 10 for UB. Jackson in there at quarterback, looking to run a roughly 3-minute drill here. The jet sweep to the right side for Isaiah King, a speedster. And he takes it for a good gain out past the 25.
Something about these Buffalo receivers, they like jumping in the air, or offensive skill players. I just don't get it. Sometimes you can stay ground level. I understand and respect the idea of trying to get extra yards
through the tackler.
But watch this at the end. Is there really a need to jump?
It is a video game thing, though. I mean, everyone loves that hurdle in the video game.
It's a sports center thing as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to make top 10 player of the week.
Yep, looking like Lamar Jackson. 2nd down here and 8, coming up on 2 minutes left to go. Tempo here for the Buffalo offense, all sorts of time. Jackson airs it out, running deep, incomplete. KJ Osborne, the intended receiver. 2 touchdown catches for Osborne, 2 for rushing and 1 for Johnson. 5 touchdowns in the first half through the air for junior Tyree Jackson.
If KJ wants to get his name in the paper and not have all the offensive discussion from a passing receiver standpoint go to Anthony Johnson, those are the type of plays that he has to make. You can't get defeated at the line of scrimmage by the DB to slow down the timing for your quarterback Jackson on that particular play. You have to make those plays.
You know they'll see a lot of single coverage on the other side of Johnson.
Be the one to take advantage of it.
3rd down. Jackson with all day to throw again. Incomplete for KJ Osborne. Difficult catch.
But again, if you want to, as I said, get your name in the paper, be on highlight reels, you have to make those plays. If it touches your hands as a receiver on any level, you have to make the play. But what I like about this is you see this strong-arm quarterback can throw a dart while in motion. So if from a ability standpoint, that was on display, the talent that Jackson possesses.
Running to his left.
On top of that.
For a right-hander. Finnegan will punt it away. Just gets it away. Good, very high spiraling kick. Fair caught by Bryson Aline. .38-yard punt for Finnegan. This could be the last opportunity offensively for Delaware State. Delaware State did receive the ball to start the game, so Buffalo will receive the second half kickoff. What have you seen from these 2 quarterbacks? Neither particularly effective, but have we seen the strengths so far for DSU?
Well, one thing is with McDaniels, let's give him credit. He appears to have a better command of the deep ball than Black at this point in time. And he's made some good throws. It's up to the receivers to create the right separation to make a play on the ball, but he has had a couple throws in which you say, yes, we can work with that. And from a running standpoint, I've liked what we've seen out of the 2 running backs and that they've been effective today.
Flag in the backfield as Aline picked his way forward. It's going to be a holding penalty against Delaware State again.
Holding. Number 68, Delaware State. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Next play, but that just puts you behind.
It does.
You know, behind schedule right off the bat with a huge penalty on first down.
Right, and then you're as an offensive coordinator, you're Eric Day, you're saying to yourself, okay, what do I call for 1st and 20 situation? And as you see right here, you can't hold on to the guy. You were beat from the get-go, and that's hence the holding play, because had you not held him, it's going to be a tackle loss. But in this situation, you're probably better off letting him make the tackle and not adding on and compounding the problem.
McDaniels keeps and slides down to a gain of about 3. Coach Milstead said he wished he could combine the best attributes of both quarterbacks. Said they each have their days, and if he could combine them, he'd have one quarterback he was really happy with. But this 2-quarterback system, they'll probably have to settle on, pick one eventually based on their play. Some people say that if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any quarterback.
Yeah, that's what conventional wisdom teaches us. But I will say this right now, and I have no stake in the game, McDaniels is leading the clubhouse because he's been able to make a couple plays here and there and move the offense somewhat down the football field, as opposed to Black, who's had limited opportunities in his own right. But there is something, again, to work with here. It's not a complete loss, and it's just a matter of consistency and learning how Coach Milstead wants to call games, and eventually they'll work these things out. I just hope these guys don't go back to that, what I call loser mentality of only thing they've known is losing, so you have a defeatist mentality. There's something to build upon here. It may sound strange with a 34-3 beatdown right now, but there really is some positive things taking place on the football field for this Hornets program.
And I believe Delaware State is going to let the rest of the time run out on the first half as they're facing a 3rd and long here. And that will be the end of the first half. Dominated by Buffalo and its quarterback and its passing attack. Tyree Jackson, 5 touchdown passes in the first half, and the Bulls have a commanding 34-3 lead at the half. Started under sunshine, it's now nearing sunset, but the Bulls have been strong from the get-go. Tyree Jackson and the Bulls lead at 34-3. Capital One halftime report is coming up right after this. UB Stadium in Buffalo. Throughout the first half, we've talked about Delaware State head coach Rod Milstead returning to his alma mater, but the biggest name going back to his alma mater this year, Scott Frost, the national champion quarterback, returning to Nebraska and looking to bring the Huskers back to the top of the college football world.
Nebraska has won its 2nd national championship.
The Huskers 13-0.
And this was a team that was a dynasty in the 90s.
They haven't had sustained success in quite some time.
Well, every program goes through ups and downs. Even the best have down cycles. You get the right people back in place and you have a chance to recapture some of the greatness.
We've been sold out for 50-plus years, and I think that streak would have gone if Scott had not come back.
The 30th head football coach at the University of Nebraska, Scott Frost.
So who's a bigger rock star, Stanley Morgan Jr. or Scott Frost?
Scott Frost. He's a bigger rock star. I mean, he's a great quarterback here. He won the championship.
Everybody always talks about 94, 95, 97. Having a guy that was a part of it and pretty much ran the whole thing as quarterback, it's insane.
They keep by Scott Frost, and he'll score another touchdown.
We show people who the best team in the country is. There's no question.
I don't think there's anybody else in football that can list Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick, Coach Osborne, Coach Walsh, Coach Gruden, right on down the line. What's that meant to you, Scott?
It probably meant I was an average player. I didn't have as good an NFL career as I would have liked to as a player. But for the sake of my coaching career, it allowed me to touch a lot of great people in this profession.
I want to ask you about last year at the end of the season. You coached that bowl game, and most coaches who take a job sort of cut and leave. It was important to you not to do that.
It would have gone against everything that we've been preaching for 2 years to abandon them right then.
What a season for UCF. Perfection.
It would have been hard to leave UCF unless the situation was right. And a lot of things changed around here. Some of the leadership changed. I think there's more people in the athletic department now that think the way we think to try to make this a winner.
The one thing I did tell him, having done what he did here as a player, having been from the state, people here are going to give him probably a little more time, a little bit more encouragement, and be behind him.
Scott, how will you modify your system for the Big Ten?
I'm hoping the Big Ten has to modify their system for us.
What has been Coach Frost's stamp on this team to this point?
I would say competitiveness.
He's super high energy. He's always intense, and that's awesome for us as players.
We go so fast. It's an amazing tempo. It's different from what Nebraska traditional offense is.
You have to make progress in the offseason from a speed and strength standpoint. More than anything, I want to see the passion come back. I didn't feel that right away when I got back. All those things have slowly gotten better, and I like the trajectory we're on.
When you come back to your alma mater the way Scott did, all the expectations and all the pressure, he seemed to handle that very well.
People always talk about the native son and all that stuff. He hasn't made it about himself. You know, he's been completely selfless since the minute he got here.
He feels the responsibility, he feels the weight of 1.8 million people really counting on him, but I think he's going to do a great job.
Well, growing up in Nebraska, I was able to see firsthand that from the car dealer in Grand Island to the guy walking the bean fields in northeast Nebraska, those people stand for integrity and hard work and caring about your neighbor and putting needs of other people ahead of yourself. And I want our football program to reflect that.
When we return on the Capital One Halftime Report, we'll take a look at the first half stats right after this. Welcome back to the Capital One Halftime Report here in Buffalo. 34-3 at the half. UB leads Delaware State. Yes, the score is lopsided. The stats, though, tell a different story. It's been a combination of turnovers leading to short fields for the Bulls.
Exactly, and when you're in Delaware State's position, you cannot afford to give the ball back to Tyree Jackson because he has made them pay early and often throughout the course of this game. So you definitely have to do a better job of securing the football on the offensive end for Delaware State.
Delaware State actually outrushing Buffalo so far, although you see Jackson has had a big half through the air. 4 out of 4 on fourth down, including 2 touchdowns off of those plays. The 3 turnovers have got to stop.
Exactly, that has to stop. And when you look at the third down conversions, there have been some positive things taking place on the defensive end for Delaware State. It's those four conversions on fourth down that's hurt them actually. One actually led to a touchdown. So there are some things to build upon in this second half, and they can turn the ship in the right direction.
Good crowd on hand here on this opening Saturday. The UB Marching Band entertaining them at the half with the Bulls up 34-3.
No one, because of the alien invasion. In unrelated news, ESPN is giving fans with the best excuses for ditching work free tickets to a day game. And there's nobody here with me.
Holy moly!
Our Facebook page starting on Tuesday to give your Capital One fan vote. Robert Lee, 3-time Super Bowl champion, Gerard Cherry back with you here in Buffalo, New York. Fireworks going on behind us, and it's been a lot of fireworks in the first half. Sure to be a lot of fireworks in this 2018 college football season, which gets underway in earnest this weekend. What are you looking forward to the most?
I'm just really looking forward to see what Alabama can do. Can they become a repeat title defender and go out there and do the things necessary to win the championship again? Very excited to see that. Want to see how Ohio State responds to the controversy that's taking place with their squad as well. So very excited about the college football season and just really looking forward to seeing some great football being played on the gridiron.
Hope certainly springs eternal this time of year as the teams head towards the college football playoff in January. It's UB off to a good start here with a 34-3 lead and looking for some more fireworks in the second half when we return.
Very excited to see that. Want to see how Ohio State responds to the controversy that's taking.
Free tickets to a day game. And there's nobody here with me.
Breathe, and it's a fan.
That's a tech van. Really, what's happening?
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
It was a big first half for Buffalo. Quarterback Tyree Jackson, 5 touchdown passes.
And the amazing thing about the passes, several of them came on fourth down situations, but what you saw on display today, and right here in this particular pass, the ability to hit a receiver in an extremely, not tight spot, but an extremely tight spot. And just his command and ability to throw the deep ball is just so impressive. You can't find a prettier pass than that right there. Right there, over the shoulder, laid in the basket, put his receiver in a position to make a play. Very impressive what I've seen thus far. It doesn't get any easier than that, Robert. You leave a guy wide open, I guarantee you, Jackson will find a way to hit the open receiver. And right here is just basic football. No leverage equals a touchdown. Great job on the part of Jackson, and the rest of his offensive players are taking advantage of the situation given to them. If you're not going to defend the space or the player, guess what's going to happen? Bad things. But very impressive what he's done thus far with his ability to throw 5 touchdowns so far on the day.
Had 12 in 8 games last year, 5 already in the first half. He will start the second half as Buffalo will get the ball. Third quarter set for the season opener from Buffalo, New York, UB Stadium. Robert Lee, Gerard Cherry with you, our entire terrific crew from Western New York. It's cooled off a bit, although still pretty warm here, as it has been in upstate New York for much of the summer.
Well, Jackson's arm hasn't cooled off, that's for sure.
Kick is away by Jose Romo Martinez, and it'll be taken by Isaiah King. King flung down at the 28-yard line. Now, the score is 34-3. Still a long way to go in this game. If you're Coach Lance Leipold, you want your team used to playing 3-4 quarters of football from the get-go. That's what you're going to have to do next week. But at what point and what score and time do you start considering maybe we start getting some more players, some action in this game?
When it gets into the 50s and 60s, that's when you make that consideration, in my opinion, because at this point still, you want to work on your offense. And though the score is 34-3, it has not been completely a pretty effort completely on the part of the Buffalo Bulls offense. There's still some things that they need to work on and get much more better from an execution standpoint that they haven't done throughout the course of this game.
Running the ball would be one of those things.
Exactly.
They get off to a good start with the King sweep for 8.
Don't be surprised if they try to reestablish the running game, because they have not had much success tonight, and you have to give credit to the Hornets for that, because a great way to take the will out of a football team is to run the football on them. They've been defeated, the Hornets, more from the pass, not the run.
First down out past the 40. 16 carries, 61 yards in that first half for the Bulls as a team. Leading rusher Emmanuel Reed had 6 carries for 25 yards. On the receiving side, Johnson 4 catches for 57 yards and a score. Osborne 3 catches, 54 yards and 2 touchdowns. Couple of runs, picks up a first down.
That's a great sign on the part of Jackson, distributing the ball to multiple receivers.
Reed bounces it outside to the right and then tripped up at the 45-yard line.
It has not been an easy going for the running backs today for the Buffalo Bulls. To their credit, the Hornets have swarmed to the football and shown that they have a great ability to make open field tackles as well.
Sound tackling, exactly.
Exactly, because Reed's not an easy guy to bring down. As you see right here, though he gets away from the first defender, there are guys swarming to the football, and that's a great sign for team defense.
Gain of 3. Jackson lobs it near side. Incomplete. Intended for Isaiah King.
One thing you can say about this defense for the Hornets, speed is not an issue for them. They have team speed on the defensive end because they have been side to side, neck to neck with the receivers for the Bulls today. It hasn't been a situation where they're getting ran by and beat by 4 or 5 yards. It's a situation of ball placement in that you have an excellent quarterback in Jackson who can deliver accurate passes in the deep part of the football field.
UB was 4 out of 4 on 4th downs in that first half, but just 1 out of 8 on 3rd downs. This is a 3rd and long. Jackson throws, but short of the first down near midfield. Good sound tackle there. Rodney Scott on the catch, and Brian Cavalcante, the linebacker, all MEAC selection, as it looks like they're going to go for it here.
And this is the part that's so defeating for a defense. You would expect, okay, 3 and out, where's their punt team? But no, they're going for it.
Unless you stop them.
Exactly.
Could be great field position for Delaware State with a stop. 4th and 2. Jackson throws into the flat, wide open. First down. Inside the 45, breaking tackles.
And to their credit, they came back to a similar play in which the defender ducks his head inside, making the wrong leverage move, and that leads to no one in the boundary. As you see right here, Selby has to do a nicer job of getting outside and creating what's called setting the edge. He didn't do that. So if you don't set the edge, they're going to get outside.
Charlie Jones, his first catch of the game, redshirt freshman from Deerfield, Illinois, similar to that Osborne touchdown catch at the other end of the field. Similar looking play. It is another 4th down conversion, 5 out of 5 now, running left to the 35-yard line, a gain of 4. Jonathan Hawkins.
I mean, the running game has been average at best today for the Bulls, and they would like more production out of that because, again, as they go up in the competition and start seeing the FBS part of their schedule, that's not going to cut it. You have to do a much better job with your balance and getting those positive yards, especially in the running game, because if you have a balanced attack, it's so hard for a defense to stop you when you have a passer like Jackson.
And Hawkins could be a big boost for that. He missed most of last season with a shoulder injury, played in 3 games, and then missed the rest of the year with a torn labrum. He'll get the handoff again. Good push by the line. Leads to a first down to the 27-yard line. I think it's very clear coming out of the locker room. Andy Kotelnicki, the offensive coordinator, said, we are going to establish this run game.
Exactly, and that's the sound that you want to hear. That's what you call music to the ears of an offensive coordinator. When you hear the pads cracking like that and you're seeing your offense moving away forward, pushing that running back to positive yards.
He talked about balance.
Yes.
Can't just be a team that is one-dimensional when you want to play for a conference championship.
No, you can't. Now, to their credit, they're going to be outstanding in that one dimension of the passing game. But as you move up in competition, they have guys on scholarship too that will be able to stop you here in mid.
Hawkins breaks free over the left side. Jonathan Hawkins running hard inside the 15.
Hawkins is doing a good job of establishing himself as maybe the premier runner back for this offense because he's picking up nothing but positive yards thus far in the second half. And I like how he reads off the blocks, but at the end, he delivers contact and lowers that shoulder. He's not trying to dive over anyone this time around.
40 rushing yards already on this drive for UB after they had 61 in the entire first half. And Hawkins has had most of those.
This is where a play-action pass could do some serious damage to a defense because you can't stop the run at this point, and you have to honor it, so that gives the receivers a chance to get some spacing.
Fresh set of downs from the 14. Hawkins running right. Cuts upfield to the 11-yard line.
Yeah, at this point, what you're doing, you're working on your game. You saw a weakness in the first half with your offensive play calling and decision-making. Now you're going to work on that. You're going to improve upon that, and that's so important. Not going to what's easy for them right now, which is passing. But normally, Robert, it's the other way around. It's much more challenging to pass than to run.
Under 10 on the play clock. Jackson fakes the handoff, throws wide open. Charlie Jones diving for the end zone and a touchdown. First career score for Charlie Jones. 6 touchdown passes for Tyree Jackson.
And this is a situation where Jones, Charlie that is, had the desire, wherewithal, drag the defender, Selby, into the end zone. And an easy reading decision. Quick throw, nice touch on the football, allows Jones to make a play on the ball, and then Jones, give him credit, drug the defender to the end zone because he wanted to get his name in the paper.
2 catches on that drive. Mitchison's extra point is up and good.
I should probably say he wanted to get his name on Facebook, Instagram, because people don't really read the paper no more. Social media is where he wanted to be represented. How about that?
Tyree Jackson's going to be on social media after this one as well. 6 touchdown passes with 9:25 left in the third quarter. Buffalo all over Delaware State, 41-3.
Oh my God, he juked every single guy in the field.
Back here at UB Stadium with UB leading at 41-3. We're now pleased to be joined by the new athletic director of the university at Buffalo, Mark Allnutt, who's in his first year after coming over from the University of Memphis. Mark, welcome to the broadcast.
Oh, thanks, Robert. Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about what you've seen from this UB program. I think pretty clearly to the left of the field, we'll get a shot of that. There's a huge field house going up, but a lot of exciting things going on here on campus.
A lot of excitement. That's one of the things that attracted me to this job when I took the job in April was the success of the football program last year, the growing success. 6-6 program, bowl eligible. Didn't make a bowl game, but But you also think about the commitment of the university and also the supporters. To our left over here is the Murchie Family Fieldhouse. Is a $19 million indoor facility that's been built. There's been a ton of construction, last couple of years, and there's more to come. We're looking at a weight room. We're looking at replacing that scoreboard down the road. So, again, what I see is progress with this institution, but more importantly, this department, along with the football program.
Fans of March Madness will know that the University of Buffalo did pretty well this year. Won the MAC, went to Boise, and crushed Arizona, which had the #1 pick in the NBA draft. Now, you weren't here by that point, but how much has that boosted excitement around this athletics program?
Oh, it has indeed. I mean, with the men, what they did, as you mentioned, beating Arizona, going to the next round NCAA. But you look at our women's basketball program. The first time in program history going to the Sweet 16. I had a chance actually to go support them in Albany when they lost to South Carolina. You look at the women's tennis program going to NCAA, as well. So, this success, it feels more success. So the expectations are high for 18-19, and we feel that we have the program that's on the right track to continue that.
And Robert, I missed out on a great opportunity today because as I was walking into the gates of the field, security looked at me with that look of respect and awe. And like,
3-time Super Bowl champ.
No, that had actually nothing to do with it. They thought I was the athletic director, and had I been about my wits, I should have said, yes, I am, and take me to my club seats, please.
Well, I tell you what, I think we both have the same razor for our head that makes us.
I love your sound.
Yeah, exactly right. But no, again, welcome, guys, and we're so glad to hear you, for you guys to be here, and we're excited about the direction of this program, and what a great start for our football program. We had a great student turnout, for the very first game, and again, it's taking one game at a time, and I know our program is ready to take that next leap forward.
Delaware State turns it over for the 4th time, and UB goes back on offense with a carry by Patterson. There is a new quarterback in, Kyle Van Treese, the backup to Tyree Jackson. So Jackson's night presumably over with 6 touchdown passes, and he was also getting tended to on the sideline a little bit after that last touchdown. They were kind of stretching him out, but certainly with this game seemingly well in hand, Van Treese, a sophomore, will get some time in as well. You talk about this football program. Talk about Lance Leipold and the job he's done in taking a program that really hasn't had a lot of excitement around it ever and really building that into an exciting program.
Well, I tell you what, I came from Memphis and I spent 3 years at the University of Memphis, so I had the opportunity to work with Mike Norvell, and prior to that, Justin Fuente, and I see some similar parallels to where when Fuente took over that program, it really wasn't doing much, and he was able to elevate it to the status that Mike Norvell has brought it and taken it to the next level. And I see very similar parallels in terms of the quality of student athlete that they're recruiting, which has been very good and is helping us get to the level we're trying to go.
Yeah, we see the field house being built as we speak. But what is your overall vision for the program, and what do you want to see established to cement your time here in Buffalo?
Well, again, just keep the growth. I mean, Coach Leipold and I were talking the other day, and it's a totally different environment, so to speak, when you go downstairs to the bottom of this stadium and you see, the training room. You see now that we have a fueling station. You look at the meeting rooms they have, the coach's office is the team room. All this progress that we're trying to do. So we're going to continue the progress again with the field house, as I mentioned before. Building a new weight room with that nice field house. I keep looking at that. We need a new video board. So I mean, so again, just opportunities that's going to attract the recruits that we want to come here to Western New York, but also more importantly from a fan standpoint, when they come here, they can have a first-class experience watching a Bulls game.
Mark Allnut and UAD here at Buffalo. Appreciate the time and all the best to you going forward.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
We'll take a timeout, injury timeout here. 41-3 UB with the lead.
That is a touchdown! Yes! Look at that!
Yeah!
Oh my God, he juked every single guy in the field.
Junior defensive back from Miami. Check that, freshman defensive back from Miami. And he kind of got rolled up on during the last play, number 14.
Yeah, and you see at the tail end, going for the blocking right there, Julian Barisa. And right there you see it, and that's what you don't want to see, and you hope that the young man's doing okay, but it's a situation where he was mismatched from a size standpoint. But to his credit, he's up on his feet. Wishing him a speedy recovery.
Talking with Mark Allnut, we don't want to make light of UB's football history, but this is a team that went Division I, or FBS as it's called now, in 1999. They've had 3 seasons they didn't have a losing record. One of them was last year. They were 6-6. They've been to 2 bowl games back in 08 under Turner Gill. Had a terrific year that year. Went on to 2013, their last winning record. I looked at this up. They haven't had a coach with a career winning record since the 1960s.
Right.
So they just haven't had a lot of success here, especially on a sustained basis. But now they're getting that excitement. This is a sports town. You've got the Bills. You've got the Sabres. You're putting yourself onto the map with an exciting team, with exciting players, playing an exciting brand of football.
Exactly. And one of the things that you're going to have to guard against as your coach, Leipold, is the fact that you have not had a lot of success. Guys may start buying into what's going to be written about them in social media and things of that nature. And so you have to guard against that, because when you're not used to getting that type of positive attention, sometimes you are happy and complacent and content with that, and it can't be the case. As you said, Robert, you want to build a program. You want something sustainable. You want to be in a situation with Tyree Jackson and Johnson that when you come back to this school 10 years from now after you had a nice NFL pro career, what you built is still sustained. That's a sign of success, and that's what they want to establish, and they're definitely in a position to do just that, because they're showing that, one, pros will identify you here, and you can also win at a higher level. But obviously this season will mean a lot for the future of Buffalo Bulls football.
Van Treese in there at quarterback midway through the 3rd quarter. Quick pass into the flat. Good blocking downfield and undercut just shy of the 20-yard line. Julian Barraza. If there's a guy to do it, you've certainly got to like the chances of Lance Leipold. I mean, the numbers that he put up at Division III Wisconsin Whitewater are almost unbelievable.
Yes.
I mean, he was 109-6 in 8 years. He had 6 losses, and he won 6 Division III national titles. It's almost impossible to fathom.
And that's one of the reasons why I'm impressed with him, but why I'm even more so impressed with Coach Leipold is the fact that he comes here to rebuild a program, experienced some success early on. The second year, things completely fall apart. They lose Licata, and they don't really have a true quarterback, so things go awry. But he sticks with it. Imagine coming from a situation where you're not used to losing, and all of a sudden that's all you're experiencing. But you keep grinding, you stick with it, and you show that you have a conviction of turning this program around, and he's doing just that. So you have to be impressed with the fact that 4 years in, he's starting to see the fruits of his labor.
His first year, they went 5-7. You're thinking, okay, decent year.
Right.
That was more losses than he'd had in 8 years at his previous coaching job.
And to deal with that and come back and still stay on the grind, because the next season was abysmal.
2-10, followed by 6-6 last year. Short run to the 16. One of the problems they had last year was a lot of close losses. 6 losses by a total of 29 points. Their biggest loss was 10 points. They had 2 losses by 1 point, and they lost that epic 7 overtime game by 3 points to Western Michigan. They weren't far from being 9-3 or better.
Not at all. And when you go back to the last game that I had the opportunity to call when they played against Ohio, they soundly beat one of the best teams in the MAC.
Running over the left side, cutting upfield inside the 5, breaking tackles for a touchdown. Jarrett Patterson, first career score. And Buffalo extends the lead.
And this is what we call when the fatigue factor kicks in on the defensive side, because there are broken tackles after broken tackles. Give the running back credit for running hard and with conviction and desire to get to the end zone, but you have to do a better job. And I understand you've been on the football field a lot of time, but Patterson wanted more, and he can't want it more. You have to bring him down.
Mitchison has been busy. Hooks that one through the left upright. Jarrett Patterson igniting the UB bench, the true freshman. His teammates fired up as Buffalo rolling here.
Oh my God, he juked every single guy in the field.
Jarrett Patterson's first career touchdown, and Tyree Jackson picking him up like he's his little brother.
And
Yeah,
little
big
things,
Tyree Jackson.
Yes, he's huge. And little things like that mean so much, Robert, in that showing that level of excitement for one of your players, it's a part of leadership. And showing that it's not about you and the attention all going on you, but celebrating guys when they have their success as well. And little gestures like that carry a lot of weight in the locker room setting.
Patterson makes it 48-3 now in favor of UB. Kickoff is taken at the goal line and a touchback.
Because you want to play for a guy who cares.
The ESPN app now with ESPN Plus. Get more ESPN and download now.
So much information and video on the ESPN Plus app. Buffalo's next game here at home against Eastern Michigan in 2 weeks will be on ESPN Plus. But if you're a fan of sports of any kind, really a must-have.
Yes, it is. And there are no excuses to miss out on your favorite team playing because the technology is definitely there to make it so that you have access to this type of entertainment/information.
Appreciate you joining us tonight as UB leads Delaware State in the season opener 48-3. Jack McDaniels, who started the game, went out briefly in favor of Keenan Black in the first half, but has played the entire second half. Passes it in a good effort moving forward by Trey Gross. So we come up on 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
McDaniels is doing his part to solidify himself as the starter. He's had some positive plays tonight, and obviously he started the game, so that means that as of now, he's leading the clubhouse to be the signal caller for this offensive unit for the Hornets.
Delaware State has just not been able to move the ball consistently throughout the game. They've had some spurts, some good plays here and there, but just getting beaten at the line of scrimmage, which you would expect, but haven't been able to make a push.
Exactly, because that's the key. You have to win at the line of scrimmage point of attack. The push is everything, and if you don't establish that and if you don't get that, there's nothing you can do. You can have all the fancy plays that you want, but if you can't control the line of scrimmage, it's all null and void.
Facing a 3rd and short here. Still unlikely you're going to win this game, obviously, but you want to finish strong and have something to build on going towards next week, and a good tough run over the right side for a first down.
That's exactly what your mentality has to be, one of being a competitor, because yes, you are getting handed soundly, beaten soundly as well, and handed it to you. But you can learn from this, you can build from this, and get your confidence from this, and say, you know what, these guys are bigger, faster, stronger, and they're supposed to be. They're FBS and you're FCS. But go out there and continue to compete, because it's going to make you stronger and a better player at the end if you continue to compete and not just quit.
Waters continues to run hard to the 40-yard line. FCS schools have 63 scholarships compared to FBS schools who have 85 scholarships, and don't underestimate how much that difference that makes.
Huge. Cannot state it enough. When you have the ability to have more bodies out there for practice, your ability to not be injured and to just keep guys healthy also plays a part in that. So you're undermanned on a bunch of levels from a strength standpoint and a numbers game as well, and it makes all the difference in the world.
Delaware State has an enrollment of 4,500. Dover, Delaware. Just look at the difference in enrollment and resources, and Coach Milstead acknowledged that. They have more resources, but they play 11 players on 11 players when the ball is snapped.
That they do, and you can't. Everyone has heart, will, and conviction. The question is, how much are you going to go out there and lay it on the line? Though you may be undersized, it doesn't stop you from going out there and playing and giving your all, because that's the key in football. Your ability to lay it on the line and walk away from this game tonight exhausted. That's on you and your own individual effort.
Terrific effort there by Bryson Aline for a first down. Delaware State bust here. They took a bust here, as you'll see Aline with one of the better runs of the game.
Exactly. Now your hope is with that individual effort that becomes a collective team effort and you have positive plays on a consistent level like that one there. And if you continue to establish those things, build from that. There's something you can build from because you're having some success against some higher caliber opponent.
13-yard gain. Aline gets it again. So we said they took a bus here. The bus driver told me it took about 8.5 hours to get here. So clearly they're going to be getting home around 6 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Right. And on top of that element of it, riding on a bus as opposed to having the luxury like the Bulls would have of flying through the air makes a difference as well from how your body feels. So we talk about those resources and how that all comes into play, and that definitely factors in.
Waters running hard up the middle and breaking tackles inside the 35.
But I love schools like this, and I love guys on these type of teams because you know what they are? They're guys who love the game. Not saying that the other guys in FBS don't love the game, but what they have to go through, what they experience, they don't get the luxuries of a training table or flying in a chartered plane or anything like that, but they still go out there and they lay it on the line and try their best to play this game at a high level.
12-yard gain. Catch made there by Teron Selby. Delaware State, in addition to Rod Milstead, who won a Super Bowl on the offensive line with the 49ers, has one very notable alumni, John Taylor, who for most of his career was known as the other receiver besides Jerry Rice, but he did catch the game-winning touchdown
against your squad,
against my Bengals, leaving this 11-year-old in Cincinnati heartbroken with exactly 34 seconds left. I'll never forget that.
And while you were crying, I was celebrating because I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I just knew that game was lost, and then JT makes that slant route catch, and the rest is history, as Joe Montana talked about John Candy being in the stands, if I'm not mistaken.
Super Bowl 23, 34 seconds left. John Taylor is a Delaware State graduate.
Yeah, all 80s team in the NFL as well. Incredible player. And he and Jerry Rice did a lot to put historically black colleges on the map, and that you can find talent here. And guess what? There's talent on this football field right now from Delaware State, in which I've seen guys who have the ability to go out there and play potentially on the next level.
Short throw, and another first down. Best drive of the game for Delaware State to the 20-yard line. DSU does have a player in the NFL right now, Isaiah Williams on that catch. Rodney Gunter is a defensive lineman for the Arizona Cardinals.
And you like decision-making ability to keep the play alive on the part of McDaniels, and that right there is going to help his cause, which is to be the starting quarterback for the Delaware State Hornets.
It's going to be the end of the third quarter. Buffalo extends the lead. It was 34-3 at halftime. 2 more touchdowns in the third quarter, and UB on its way to a win, 48-3.
And there's nobody here with me.
Opened last season at Minnesota, and it was these 2 plays that sort of said, we might have something in this Anthony Johnson.
Exactly. Welcome to the NCAA FBS football world, and they've done nothing but set the world on fire with their impressive plays. And right there, you see that touchdown? That was the start, the foundation of the Jackson and Johnson combination.
Preseason second-team All-American, second in the country in yards last year, 1356, and third in the country with 14 receiving touchdowns. Anthony Johnson is actually the leading returning FBS receiver in terms of yards as a timeout is called.
30-second timeout, Delaware State.
He's got some videos out there where he shows off some pretty unreal athleticism.
Yeah, well, all you have to do is watch his football prowess and what he can do. But watch this. Ability to catch the football and flip at the same time. That is athletic ability at an extremely high level. Now, I've seen other players do that, but shorter in stature. For a guy 6'2" to be able to do a backflip like that, have the presence of mind to catch the football, speaks volumes about his athletic ability. And once again, one of the reasons why NFL scouts are so excited about this young man.
We asked Coach Leipold about how he ended up here at Buffalo. This is his only FBS offer, if you can believe that. He started at Butler Community College in Kansas, as Delaware State has the ball here, running it up the middle. Then he went to Iowa Western. Buffalo had some attrition in their program, and they needed to kind of fill some roster spots, and they saw some things on video from Anthony Johnson. They said, oh, let's bring him in. They offered him. He decided to sign. They actually redshirted him his first year because he got hurt in camp, and they decided they wanted him for 2 full seasons. But he opened some eyes on the scout team that first year. He could go in the first round.
He certainly can. And do some research. Rock Hill, South Carolina produces a ton of talented athletes. Matter of fact, my origin stems from Rock Hill, South Carolina, just to put myself in that conversation. But you'll search and you'll see that there are a ton of guys that come out of that area that are very athletically gifted and inclined.
We saw some video of him working out with his cousin, Jadeveon Clowney, who was the #1 pick in the NFL draft.
Hailing out of Rock Hill, South Carolina.
Yep, played for the Gamecocks, plays for the Houston Texans. Now that is Anthony Johnson's cousin. They work out regularly in the offseason. McDaniel's throw is knocked up in the air, and it's incomplete.
And one of the things that I've noticed, and I pay attention to guys' demeanor and interactions with their teammates on the sideline, This could have been a career night for Johnson from a receiving standpoint. He could have be out there right now, have 4 or 5 touchdowns, but he's seeing that KJ Osborne is getting a lot of opportunity as well as rushing, and there's no complaining. There's no demeanor of, what about me? I'm the star here. I'm the NFL-ready guy. He's happy for his teammates, and that's another great sign right there of his character and attitude.
It's going to be 4th down coming up here, and Delaware State will go for a field goal. Anthony Johnson, 6'2", 210. Talking to the Buffalo radio folks, play-by-play man Paul Peck before the game, said he's run low 4.5s. If he can improve on that a little.
Well, I guarantee you, he runs anything in the 4.4 range, he'll be the first receiver taken if he continues to put up the numbers.
Romo Martinez's field goal is blocked.
But here's the thing I always tell people. 4.5, Jerry Rice was a 4.5 runner, but you ever seen one catch him from behind? No, you did not. Field speed can be different than a 40 speed.
Field goal by Romo Martinez was blocked, keeping Delaware State off the board. It's 48-3.
And they want your best shot. Can you feel it? Sunday Night Baseball, Angels-Astros, tomorrow at 8 on ESPN. Telecast presented by Taco Bell.
Goal! Oh! Back to live action here. 12:40 left to go in the 4th quarter. 3rd down and 10 here for Buffalo after a couple of short runs. Theo Anderson on the most recent run. Van Treese, the backup quarterback, is in there. He throws, and it is caught by Isaiah King, well short of the 1st down, and Buffalo will be forced to punt.
And not sure if it's an issue of experience or respect, so to speak, in that Buffalo has not gone vertical. They relied primarily on the running game and screen plays and plays in which the passing yards attempt that was no more than 5 to 6 yards.
Punt coming up here for Evan Finnegan. Bryson Aline back deep to receive at the 36. Low end over end kick. Aline takes it at the 42. And a 6-yard return to the 48. 36-yard punt, 6-yard return. So it'll be McDaniels again out there at quarterback for Delaware State. Hornets will play on the road at St. Francis of Pennsylvania next week. It's in the Pittsburgh area. It's an FCS school. Then back up to FBS at Western Michigan. Then mostly league play in the MEAC the rest of the way for the Hornets. Waters continues to run well across midfield to the 49.
Yes, Waters learns from this and does a better job of holding on to the football and securing it. There's a future and there's promise there because he's had a positive night other than the negative plays I just discussed of running the football and getting those yards necessary to continue to push the sticks down the field.
We talked about Rod Milstead in his first year at his alma mater, first-year head football coach. I read an article about Delaware State. They have a first-year football coach,
right,
a new men's basketball coach, a new women's basketball coach, a new athletic director, and a new school president, all within the last 9 months.
That is what we call cleaning house.
Yeah. So fresh starts in Dover, Delaware.
And I know that people will see the score and they'll say, oh gosh, same old thing, but it's not the same old thing. There are some signs of positivity taking place through the course of this football game tonight that they can build upon. The key part to it all is just staying with it and grinding it out and building towards something. It's not going to happen overnight. It certainly won't happen overnight, but you definitely have some positives out there. You have some young football players out there that have ability. Just keep on building, and the hope is that you get out of this game with no one being seriously injured or no one else being seriously injured, and you continue just to work on your game as you go against a higher quality opponent.
Certainly will be a lot to learn from in this contest on 4th and short. And he's close to the 1st down. The yards actually 337 to 198, so it's not particularly lopsided, although not super relevant in a game that's 48-3. What is relevant is that they turned it over 4 times, which is, you got to improve on that going forward.
Right. You can't beat an FCS school if you're going to turn it over 4 times. That's just giving away the most precious thing, which is the football. You have to keep it in your possession and not give a team that's high-powered and prolific on offense the opportunity to have multiple chances to be on the football field.
Running it over the right side to the 40. Buffalo ended up scoring 3 touchdowns off of those 4 turnovers as well. And Coach Milstead said it would be a process. He said it's changing a losing culture, being positive, competing at everything, walking across campus and competing through that. Building, he doesn't believe in tearing guys down because he doesn't think you can ever build them back up to the where they were before. Just being positive and building each and every day, winning every day.
Yeah, and one of the things I can say with absolute certainty is that this team has not quit. They've had, and one of the signs that you're getting better and that the losing culture is leaving is when you see guys competing in these type of situations where you're down by 45 points, yet and still you're going out there and running to the football. You're trying to pick up extra yards, and you have not quit. You're giving 4 full quarters and earning that scholarship.
Another good run up the middle by Aline against many of Buffalo's reserves here on defense. But Delaware State moving into Buffalo territory here, threatening to get into the red zone. About 8:40 left to go here in this game. And another first down. Aline breaks tackles. Bryson Aline for the corner and a touchdown. Leaping into the end zone. And Delaware State, its first touchdown of the season.
And that is exactly what I'm talking about. Though you are down 45 points, you are still giving Herculean-like effort to get to the end zone. Very impressive run, and you have to show that as a highlight because the desire and the wherewithal to keep his balance, and that's when you dive right there. That's the situation in which you go aerial.
And you see some of the Delaware State fans who've made the trip excited about that first touchdown of the year. Aline, a senior from Wilmington, Delaware. Did not score last season, but his 9th career touchdown and his first of 2018.
It was a pretty one.
Romo Martinez puts the extra point through. It's 48-10. 8.5 minutes to go here in Buffalo.
In the field.
We've talked about the NFL hopes of Tyree Jackson and Anthony Johnson. There is a former Buffalo Bull. You see him in action here who was in the news today. He definitely made it in the NFL.
Yes, he did. So much so that he was traded for 2 first-round draft picks. That's what you call extreme value in the NFL landscape. We're talking about no other than Khalil Mack. The guy is a ball and a half, and he put himself on the map with this excellent play and domination of the Ohio State several years ago.
Khalil Mack, the 5th overall pick in the 2014 NFL draft by the Oakland Raiders, and traded today to the Bears for 2 first-round draft picks. As the fair catch is made for. Yeah, I mean, there's not a. First of all, players who are worth 2 first-round draft picks don't get traded in the NFL very often.
In the first place, right?
Yeah, I mean, they usually get paid by the team that they're on. But this is an impact player who played his, and he's still very involved with the program. His younger brother is on the team now, Ladarius Mack. And they said he still comes up and works out here with the team and brings some of his trainers in to work with the defensive line.
Which is encouraging because when guys see that someone who's been here has done it and made that transition, it's a motivating factor for you that, hey, maybe if I apply myself, those great graces can happen for me as well. But the other part to it, too, is from a Bears standpoint, they have their young quarterback in Trubisky. Now they need their premier defensive player, and they got him.
They got one. Theo Anderson on the carry there, nearing the midway point of the 4th quarter. So Mack, one of Buffalo's most notable NFL alumni. Also Brandon Oliver, a running back, is still on in the league playing with Indianapolis. And James Starks started Super Bowl 45 for the Green Bay Packers when they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is Buffalo class of 2009. And just recently retired or stopped playing in the NFL, James Starks. Run over the right side. Well, we talked about Coach Milstead, and like you said, hey, Khalil Mack went from unheralded, playing at a school that's not, huge on the map.
Right.
He was the 5th pick. He walked across the stage and shook the commissioner's hand as one of the first 5 guys picked.
Sure. It's not where you're from, it's where you're at. And that's one of the beautiful things about the game today is that if you have talent and you put it on display on a consistent basis, they are going to find you. There's no secret about Jackson and Johnson. If they continue their exploits, guess what? Their names will be called by the commissioner, Roger Goodell, as well.
And that is not unusual for the Mid-American Conference.
Not at
You
all.
talk about the Ben Roethlisbergers, the Antonio Browns, talking about the Steelers. Mack alums, Khalil Mack. So many great players have come out of this
Delay of
league.
game, offense, number 9. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Due to my partiality for Tom Brady, I won't say that Ben Roethlisberger is the best quarterback in the game, but you can definitely make the argument he's in the top tier. And it is my opinion that Antonio Brown is the best receiver in the game. And as you said before, they have a common thing in place is that they played in the Midwest Athletic Conference.
Ben Roethlisberger at Miami of Ohio. Antonio Brown, Central Michigan. The number 1 pick in the draft one year was from the MAC. Eric Fisher, a guard by the Kansas City Chiefs.
So the players are here. And we see it on a week-to-week basis with the opportunity to call the games. There's definitely talent in this conference.
Punt coming up here for UB with 6.5 minutes to go, comfortably ahead by 38 points. But I think when you're talking about players in their NFL draft, especially at those skill positions, you can't overestimate how much winning helps your stock. It puts you in a bigger stage, especially if you're the quarterback. I mean, they want a quarterback who's got those skills and is winning with his team.
Yeah, it does make a huge difference. But one of the things that I'd say about the MAC in particular is that I find that these are guys, just like you see on the FCS level, who don't get all the luxuries.
We'll finish that thought when we come back with Buffalo up comfortably 40.
Yeah! Oh my God, he juked every single guy on the field.
Let's take a look at who's been putting in work, brought to you by Carhartt. It's the guys toting the ball.
Exactly. Right here, Kevin Marks is putting in major work. Whenever you see a back moving like that, you got to be impressed. And then Waters, not to be outdone, has been running very well and putting in a lot of work. And then Hawkins right here, running with conviction and attitude and just trying to pick up those positive yards as he makes those pads clap.
Bryson Allen running hard as well, most recently on a touchdown that made it 48-10. Delaware State with the ball again. A big run over the right side by Allen for a first down, a gain of 13 out near midfield. Let's finish your point before the break. These Mid-American Conference teams aren't exactly in the lap of luxury either, at least not compared to the Power 5 school.
Exactly. Things like training table, having a field house is certainly a luxury, but when you're in the Power 5 conference, you take that for granted. And one of the things that I find is that when you have guys that go to the MAC, to the NFL, they're like, wow, this is how it's supposed to be like, and they're still hungry. They still have desire, because to go to a Mid-American Conference school, you are not lauded. You were overlooked, and you still have something to prove. And one of the hardest things to do once you make it to the NFL is still play with that chip on your shoulder and that angst that you want to prove something. Because a lot of times when guys get paid, Robert, they rest on their laurels and stop putting in and applying the work. But I find the guys that go to the MAC schools in particular don't have that mentality or attitude.
Certainly, every year you get some games where teams from the MAC beat Power 5 schools. Kent State put a huge scare into Illinois today out of the Big Ten.
That's impressive.
And Kent State was picked last.
Yes.
Picked last in the MAC. They were leading Illinois at halftime. I'm not sure if that says more about Kent State or Illinois, but nonetheless, they went on the road and gave Illinois all they could handle.
Well, it shows that you have fighters on that squad, and that's this university has gone through so much adversity in regards to loss, and just the young men's ability to overcome that and go out there and express themselves in the level of competition and to put up a fight. You have to be impressed with that. So you hope that that program turns around and goes back to the days in which they were garnering national attention.
Waters, first down run over the right side to the 37. Great to have football back, though.
Yes,
it's a long off season, and
In the air.
There's big games going on everywhere, and with the college football playoff now, the importance of scheduling good opponents and some of these mega matchups you see right off the rip, Michigan, Notre Dame, and Alabama playing Louisville, and just big games right from the get-go, not tiptoeing in, so to speak.
Right, and that's typically the case because guys are like, hey, we don't want to get an L early on, but what we've seen is that you can lose early on.
Yep.
It's your best bet. You want to get that over with and out of your system and not have it take place in the latter part of the season because then it's almost impossible to get that knot.
Waters looked like he might have injured his hand a bit on that play. He'll check out with about 3.5 minutes to go.
And interesting that he doesn't wear gloves because most guys these days wear gloves, and he may want to consider that with his issues with handling the ball.
2nd down and 10. Waters, 92 yards on 23 carries.
Because one of the things that you find as a running back position, guys are constantly trying to tear the ball away from your hands, so your hands are taking a beating during the course of the game, so it might be a feel issue for him, but you might want to employ wearing gloves, one for protection, and maybe get some tact on the ball from the gloves to help you hold on to the football, because he's had a good night. It would have been a great night if he would not have had those fumbles.
92 yards for Waters, Aline 97 yards and a score. McDaniels on 3rd and long, incomplete.
And that's what we call not being on the same page with your receiver.
Let's talk Buffalo. What do you see as things they need to improve on going into Temple next week on the road and then into MAC play the following week?
Offensively, balanced attack. Your running game was suspect in the first half, was not as prolific as it needed to be considering the opponent that you were going against. Passing, you have that on lock. That's premier, prolific, and all the good things that are as advertised. Special teams is an issue from what I've seen so far, in that your return game has to take advantage of the situation at hand, and you just have to do a much more consistent job of not having extra points be blocked and just making it an asset and not something that you just get by with.
Be a turnover on downs here in the final 3 minutes. Buffalo will take over on offense with a 48-10 lead.
Monday Night Football is in your future.
We all want to see if these Jets fly. Stafford slinging frozen ropes.
Quarterback in the game for Buffalo is Dominic Johnson, a sophomore. You're thinking, oh, he looks big. He's 6'5", 220. He should play basketball. Well, he does. He's on the UB basketball team as well.
Yes, and he got an opportunity to experience that victory over Arizona in the tournament. Even got some time in the game.
He joins the basketball team after the football season's over. Said he's really taken some of those lessons, that camaraderie from the basketball team, and sees it developing on the football side. Clearly, under head coach Nate Oates, the UB basketball team has been very successful. As we mentioned, they crushed Arizona in the first round of the NCAA tournament this past March.
And that's a great point on the part of Johnson, because Coach Leipold mentioned it as well. Getting these guys to get into a mindset that they're one in thought and conviction and where they want to go, and getting the selfish ambition out of the room but directing it towards collective goals. And when you develop that and you get that sense of camaraderie, it's such a powerful entity that you have, that you can win a lot of football games. You can establish a program, and it don't matter the sport. When you have that sense and feel about we're in this together, and there's a higher purpose than your own goals and ambitions, that's how you win Super Bowls. That's how you win MAC championships and conference championships as well.
So Dominic Johnson.
Something I know a little bit about from experience.
A sophomore from Windsor, Ontario. And at 6'5", he's the second tallest quarterback on the team.
Right, because you got someone at 6'7" who has... He's beyond prototype from a quarterback standpoint for what you're looking for on the next level.
Hawkins has been running the ball of late. Takes it over the left side with 1:20 left to go. UB on the road at Temple next Saturday, 3:30. Temple lost to Villanova today. Villanova, a very good FCS school. Back home to take on Eastern Michigan. And a couple interesting matchups at Rutgers in the Big Ten, and then Army West Point will come here to Buffalo. They've played several years in a row now, and Army, a program on the rise and a unique team to play against.
Yeah, prepare yourself for the option.
Pass defense not a high priority in practice that week.
Tackling is a premium because that's the key to it.
I love it. I love watching it. It's the precision the Navy and Army and Air Force run that offense with. I mean, it's a sight to behold, if you ask me. Not this spread, 5 guys.
No, like here we are.
Time.
Do something with it.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that amazes me is if you go back in time with college football history, was in the 30s, 40s, those were the teams. Army. It's like Notre Dame.
Yep.
And Army ran the ball. Now they've stuck to their guns, so to speak, and that day and age is passing by because they don't get the top premier talent anymore like they used to back in the day. But it's interesting that they still go out there and compete, and that's just a testament to, one, the guys who are protecting our country and just their ability to be disciplined and hard workers and apply it to the football field.
How Army and Navy in particular are able to find a quarterback who's so good at it every year. I mean, it's to the high school level. I mean, everyone's running the spread everywhere, and to have a guy who's such a wizard with the ball and able to make those reads so quickly is really remarkable.
That's why they're in our top military
absolutely
branches because
makes
of
you
that.
Feel good.
You have to be intelligent. You have to be a hard worker. You have to be disciplined. So it's a reflection truly of what they do at the academy and why they got there in the first place.
Yeah. Final 33 seconds of this one as Delaware State will take over after the punt. Spot the ball at the 29. This should be the last drive of the game. We'll see how aggressive Delaware State gets here. Could choose to run the ball, and that would be the last play of the game. I believe they will have a new quarterback. Nope, McDaniel's still in there.
Yeah, let him get all the reps he can possibly get.
They're just going to take a knee here, make sure nobody gets hurt. That will be the last play of the game. So McDaniels takes a knee, and Buffalo rolls past Delaware State in the opener. 48-10 is the final. Hard-fought game.
Yes.
And a lot to build on for both teams.
Exactly. And though it doesn't show up in the point column for the Hornets, hold your heads up high because you competed for 4 quarters against a much more talented football team. There's something to build upon here. And for the Buffalo Bulls, do not rest on your laurels with this performance tonight. There's much more football to be played, and you definitely are capable of playing at a much higher level.
Gerard, a pleasure. Look forward to working with you again soon. For Gerard Cherry, Robert Lee saying so long from Buffalo, New York, where the final score is Buffalo 48, Delaware State 10. All games airing on the ESPN networks or streaming live on the ESPN app, or to watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks. Log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. So long from Buffalo, New York.